I'm still pouting over the hole. I've not even looked at you this whole time, other than what's
I quietly walk over to you and just put my hand on your shoulder. And then I walk back.
That's a lot of affection.
for Argar, yeah, I guess it is.
Welcome back to Wicked Initiative.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
Check out our facelift.
Nice. We're gonna do a quick recap, and then we'll get into our session for today. You guys, the recap should be quick. You guys were down in this like weird old temple ruins. It seemed some sort of cavern. Had a little bit of flowing water in it. Very, very stagnant flowing water. And you guys triggered a trap. Zarzaros.
You guys.
And
man like this.
the roof started to cave in on you guys at the same time that a goo, or an ooze, it was a dragon blood ooze that fell down from the falling in ceiling. You guys take a couple of quick hits at it and quickly realize that we have got to get out of here, and it's getting harder and harder to do so. You guys had tremendous teamwork in getting out alive, unscathed. There were a couple of knockdowns, a couple of pinning, but you guys managed to work together to literally hold the ceiling up and get out.
Very big Zarzaros. Help with that.
You guys then pop out of the hole, all bloodied and messed up, and you find a 5-foot boulder man who's just looking around and messing with the tusks that are in the back of your cart. He introduces himself as Galeb, and this is a Galeb Duhr, some sort of rock elemental thing. But he's holding those red flowers that you all were told about. And he proceeds to offer you them for killing Ironhide and bringing back his stones. That was the quest. So yeah, you guys are all outside now in this arid expanse. Galeb has sort of put himself into his inanimate form on the back of your cart. You guys, it's early in the morning still. It's about 9 a.m. The sun is still rising. And yeah, you guys are beaten, bloodied, got some bad wounds. Cedric, you have lost your sword in the pitfall. And yeah, the day seems pretty sunny out. The heat starts to hit your scaly skin or your normal soft pale skin. As I leave it to you all. What do you do?
I see Cedric. I'm guessing I see Cedric kind of looking a little down.
I'm still pouting over the hole. I've not even looked at you this whole time, other than what's
I quietly walk over to you and just put my hand on your shoulder. And then I walk back.
That's a lot of affection.
for Argar, yeah, I guess it is. Cedric will feel it, kind of look over, and maybe act a little surprised that it's you of all people, but he won't say anything.
I don't expect you to say anything, so I just return to the group after that. I figured you're just a little down, and Argar kind of understands why. I'll walk over.
Yeah, it's a group therapy session.
No.
Little boys are
Not.
here to help.
Cedric is just so pouty.
I've had Caleb come over. I've had
On
I
the
can't
other
have someone
side,
be more
whatever the opposite side Argar put his hand on, Gax is on putting his hand on.
wait, at the same time this is happening, both of you guys.
No,
No.
I'd say it's
Like you put it on, you walk away, and you come over.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'd say it's more like that.
I can help you get it later if you want.
Cedric, his eyes go wide at you saying that. As in, dig down. You can be that badger again.
Yeah. It's not that hard. I just need to sleep for a little, and then I'll be able to help.
I can locate my sword if I'm within 1,000 feet of it. Are you telling me if I can tell you where it is, you can retrieve it?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's still in the ooze, isn't it?
No.
I can't
We
remember.
don't know what's going on with that.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, 'cause everything crumbled.
Yeah, it's all buried. We don't
Yeah.
That's true.
We're just assuming that because everything got crushed, and
Yeah.
if the
It's
ooze
in-
is
it's-
still alive, it would have had to have dropped the sword.
Mhm.
We also wouldn't have been able to like pass through things. Yeah.
I mean, the ooze was pretty acidic. So your sword
it?
is just
Was it acidic?
rusting away.
Wait, 2 questions. Was it acidic? And are you there?
100%. When you got smacked twice in the chest, it started to burn and sizzle at you, and then you passed out.
Oh, okay.
Dude, your sword, man, that thing's screwed. I mean, you're gonna need to you're gonna need to to the nest so you can get polished up.
Getting repaired is not my worry. It can be repaired. Gax, I don't want you to fill me with false hope here. I can find it if I'm close to it. It's the getting it that I can't do. Are you sure you can do this?
Yeah. I mean, you saw me dig down there before. I mean, if we have to fight this ooze thing again, we have to fight it again. But like, hopefully not.
Ares rolled a nature check. I don't think Ares can dig down that far. No.
Neither do.
So sorry.
Gax, I have no other way of saying, but I would owe you a tremendous debt if you would be able to do this. I too cannot locate it right now. I'd have to wait until a long rest so I can pray for a different set of spells, but that would mean more than you could ever know.
I don't mind helping. And then I just walk away.
Cedric, the light doesn't the light doesn't fully come back into his eyes, but he's not like fully pouting like he was before. Though he doesn't give a glare at Bosco for that comment.
You can be mad at me all you want, but there was only one person that picked you up in there. Everyone else is running for the exit.
You ran past me.
No, I didn't. I came back and picked you up.
Was it you that picked you up? Was it you that picked you up?
You darn right it was me.
Hey, I tried in the beginning.
It was either save you or save the sword.
Wait,
I'm
when
sorry,
did I
next
get
time
picked?
I'll save the sword.
Oh, sorry, picked up. Sorry, I thought you meant like picked up like lifted, grabbed me and
You
walked
were
me out of the
pinned by
hole.
the
Yes, by the
rock
boulder.
fall.
By the boulder.
Mm-hmm. And this little halfling got you up again.
While I am appreciative of your aid, Bosco, I am only human, and I have these feelings that I cannot just push down inside.
No, it's not my fault, buddy.
I didn't say it was your fault. But regardless, thank you for your aid.
I think I'm just sitting here looking pretty beat up next to him, just watching this all play out. Like, good grief.
I know I'm getting yelled at. I'm like, if I'm bleeding out.
You are getting yelled at.
How hurt?
Who is yelling?
Pretty bad.
Okay. I'll walk over.
I'm looking pretty
Yes.
distraught, pretty exhausted.
I'll walk over.
Well,
Okay.
hold on, before we
Cure
cast
Wounds.
anything, should we not just rest tonight?
take them all.
Hey, everyone else got some magic and healing hands. Don't take it away from me.
I'll heal.
Whatever he's doing.
Cedric is still
I'll
pouty
heal you.
enough that his first time is not to heal you. So if Gax is walking over,
we
Yeah.
know. I don't care about your healing.
it all turns in an instant.
15
Oh.
points of healing.
Thank you.
And then who else looks hurt?
Oh, I'm hurt pretty bad. If I trip right now, I ain't getting back up.
All right. You get
very
10
apropos.
points of HP.
Are you
And
still?
I never drop my starry form, and as a bonus action, I can heal people for 1d8 plus 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you-
And it lasts until a long rest. Sorry.
All right.
Are you still hurt after that, Bosco? Huh? Are you still hurt? Like if I look at you, is it?
He's looking just as exhausted as me. He's just being prideful. And we're hobbling around until
I see. So I
I feel
see.
great.
I see. I see like blood's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I see Gax heal him, and he's still a little worse for wear. So I walk over and go, Vitas, and I'll also cast Cure Wounds on you. Something like that.
Wait, you already healed him?
You're trying to be so prideful. Like, I'm good.
I already healed you, too.
Are you hurt?
You get 13 health back from that.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna lie.
Still not fully there, but
That's healing is so dumb.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like you should let me do it.
Yeah.
You should let me do it.
well, I
Should
mean,
we
who needs a short rest?
get ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Cedric kind of looks down at himself.
Some
Not
of you look
great,
pretty
but
beaten up.
not great, but also not as good as you are now. Bosco goes, I guess.
You also do not have to sort of like sit around for an hour to do a short rest. You can move on the cart slowly. You just can't do any strenuous tasks during that.
What I actually do is I get near the cart and I sit down cross-legged, and I'm going to. You see me spend a couple minutes, and I'm just kind of focusing. It looks like first it looks like meditation, but then I hear me start to just mutter some words, and I'm basically using a right to replenish a spell slot for my short rest.
Cedric, while everyone's doing their own thing, is going to find as many stones he can find, probably around like this big, nothing huge, but not pebbles, and is going to be putting them around the hole that we came out of to mark it.
Okay. Good to know.
Sure you're gonna be able to find that?
I mean, this is as good as I can mark it other than memorizing our location. And he's also trying to get a sense of the surroundings, the landmarks, any mountains that he sees, large formations, trees, etc. To be able to get back to what they are.
All right.
I'm looking for cool plants.
Looking for cool plants in the desert or on like an hour later on a move.
Yes.
All of the above.
Okay.
Plants.
I think Bosco's gonna join Gax. I want to learn more about plants and see if there's
Alright.
any poison.
Give me a survival check with advantage.
Yay.
Can I give a survival check too?
You're giving him the advantage.
Oh, okay.
Can I give myself guidance?
Yes.
What?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Pain.
Is pain. You said survival?
Survival.
Oh, I was hoping for nature. Okay. 14.
14.
Yeah.
In this, I'm gonna say, for the sake of brevity, as you guys sort of like start packing up, getting ready to head back out towards Gorothak's Maw. That was the name of the canyon area that Caleb had spoken about. Him last seeing his brother. You guys start heading out. You two sort of like part ways and meander through this kind of rocky desert terrain. Eventually it comes back out into the savannah. And Gax and Bosco, what you end up finding is a small tree that's about 6 or 7 feet tall. It's got this really stocky trunk, it's a very kind of dark color that you haven't seen before, which is surprising to you because, I mean, the way it looks, it should be drawing a lot of water, but it's not. But you end up finding this thing called Belan.
Belan?
So here you go.
Huh.
So you can make a maceration of it and smash the roots into a pulp, and taking it will grant resistance to fire damage for an hour.
Okay. Gax would relay all this information to Bosco, seeing the tree and stuff like that. And yeah, Gax will start digging down to collect some of the roots.
Alrighty.
I'm mining too. I'm digging
Yep,
for
yep.
it.
You guys dig nice and deep. You find these strong, dense, darkened wood roots that are just going super deep into the ground to collect any kind of water. And you start hacking away at it, pulling the roots out. So yeah, I'd say grab. What's the recipe called for?
It calls for it's a 75 PO.
Okay. You're gonna get 4 of those.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
What does it mean by PO?
I forget what I used in terms of that.
Okay.
What I actually called it, but it was a measurement I used.
Sounds good.
So yeah, you guys collect a good bundle of that, enough for you to make 4 sets of that maceration. And as you continue, you guys, who's leading the carriage?
I'd like to be keeping an eye and leading.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna send Nyx maybe like 50 or 60 feet in front of us, and
Alright.
I'll just sit in the cart and I'll just look through her eyes.
Cedric is going to be sitting in the cart if possible.
Okay.
I'll be behind. I'll be kind of behind Zarzaros in terms of like order.
Is Caleb still
Someone's gotta be
conscious,
dying.
or is he like?
Caleb is a straight up boulder sitting in the back.
Can he wake up if someone asks him something?
Tap on him.
Yeah, I was gonna give him a knock.
Yeah, Nixel would be spending his time actually investigating this boulder. He's absolutely intrigued by this seemingly inanimate object that can animate.
Alright, you give me an arcana check. You, as you sort of hop up on the thing, you can see the boulder sitting there, and it's still, what it looks like is that, like, wherever his hand was, it's still clutching the flowers, and they're just sort of, like, in the boulder at that point. They're not being squashed or anything like that, but, like, if you were to, like, try and tug at them a little bit, they're, like, stuck in his iron grip.
When he was speaking earlier, and it was like we couldn't decipher it. Was it just mumble jumble, or was it a different language?
Different language. Yeah.
Wait, so he's in the cart right now too?
But you weren't there
I
at
know.
that point. You just hit.
Golly,
Mm.
golly.
Yeah, you don't know that.
15.
15. Definitely an elemental. They
rock in the cart.
are of
Rocking in a car.
the 15. They're not constructs. They're none of that sort. They are literally of the earth. They are created of the earth, and most of them have been around a long, long time, unless they get destroyed in some manner speaking. They can be smart. They can be stupid. They can be controlled by others. They can be individualistic. They can be a wide array of things and be associated with a lot of different types of people. So
Once Nixel figured all that out, he'd spend his time as he's hovering just cleaning the bits and pieces of all his machinery. Eventually, he would take apart his cannon there that protects everyone, and just like you would see these modular pieces like coming apart as he separates them and cleans them, and then tucks them back in his pockets.
cool.
Has anyone like taken a good look at this rock?
So that would be you right now. You're hopping up on there and you're sort of like giving it a good knock.
Oh yeah, I want to like
Cedric is getting off the cart.
Okay.
get off.
he sees Bosco and Nixel coming over to talk to the rock. Gax is, what do you want, like white-eyed basically because you're looking through the bird.
He kind of almost looks like I'm meditating.
Okay.
Like he has the staff out laid in front of his eyes are closed, but like you can see underneath his eyelids, his eyes are like moving and stuff.
Yeah, Cedric is not wanting to have a conversation right now, and the two people that probably give him the most grief are coming up to the cart. Plus, Bones is probably dead tired because there's all these people on the cart, so he's gonna go.
You don't feel like dealing with
Yeah.
Bosco and a rock, huh?
No, a rock between a rock and a hard place, quite literally.
As you hop up, give a good wrap on it. It starts to uncurl itself.
I wanted to. Can I just check him out, like a little quick investigation?
Yeah. What are you investigating for?
Just like the surface of him, I wrote a 10. Like, is it anything that's out of the ordinary
The
about?
parts of him sort of shift. Like they're not. It's almost like they like. They're not hovering in midair. Like there's not like a gap of space in between them. But the rock molds and moves with his body movements. And the mouth as well. Like obviously, it looks like he's got some small like teeth almost because of the way his mouth moves. The cracks like split and they reform. They split again. They reform again. That kind of look. His eyes open and close. They blink.
When he wakes up and goes, "Hello,"
Hello.
my response is,
When you see fit, I'd like to talk to you in private.
In private.
Yes, without anyone around us hearing.
Yes, I know what in private means.
Sorry.
So when do you think we can talk in private?
Hey, everyone, can we talk in private?
Cedric will turn around because he's getting off the car at this. And just go, and then he sees Bosco going.
Of course.
Can you hear?
No, I was gonna say Dax doesn't move at all.
so it's just a rock and I.
None of us were on the cart.
As long as
We weren't lazy like y'all.
I saw that it's you talking to him, and then I'm like, I don't care about that.
I do look back, read the situation, I'm like, and I turn back, keep following.
the Bones keeps going.
But I think you as Bosco would know because I was talking to Argar about it when I first was using Nyx.
Yep.
Like as long as you don't physically touch me, I have no idea what's going on. Because I'm like my senses are now with my bird, so I can't hear, I can't see, I can talk. So maybe Gax is just like shouting out what he sees. Up ahead, yeah.
Cool.
Like fork in the road. No. Nothing helpful. More plants.
Oh.
That's like that scientific name for a plant. That scientific name
Hibiscus
for
over
a
here.
tree. Yeah.
I say we in private.
We're here, it's just you and I. My father and I, we used to come out here, go hunting and all that kind of stuff. I've seen dragons, I've seen it all. I've never seen a talking rock.
Well, apparently you haven't seen it all.
Well, no, I guess not. But I'm curious to learn more about you, and I think we might have more in common than you think.
Well, my name's Caleb. What's yours?
Yeah, well, tell me what I know that. Tell me a little bit about your background here. Where do you come from? Why are you here?
Well, we Galeb Duhr. We sit around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just cozy up as a boulder.
Nothing special about you then? You
I
just
mean,
like
we
sitting
can
around?
walk and talk.
So you're telling me you spent
We
hundreds of thousands of years just walking and talking?
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So you don't
I
have
mean,
any...
we have. I had a brother.
So I've heard you wanna kill this son of a bitch too?
Yeah.
You wanna help? Just you and me?
I don't know about helping. He smashed me too.
No, I won't. I got a plan. I got a really good plan for this boar. You wanna hear it?
I'm not much of a fighter. I'm a gardener.
Well, you can watch me kill the thing.
I'm really good at scaring away the birds.
Need this guy where I grow my medical herbs.
Shoot.
Yes.
You ready for what I'm gonna do?
This. Do you need a job?
Let's see you playing.
So we killed a couple boars back yonder, and we were skinning them up. Cause I'm a survivalist. Everyone here knows that, or if they don't know that, I think they found that out by now. But I saved those scent glands off that one female boar. That's gonna lure him in. We're gonna bring him right to us. I'm gonna stick that son of a bitch.
Scent glands. What a marvelous idea.
Yes. It's not my first rodeo.
It's so true.
I will say though, it's probably your first rodeo with this beastie.
Oh, I'm gonna avenge my town. Are you win? How strong are you? My God! I need your
I
help.
told you I'm not much of a fighter.
What will it
I'm
take?
more of a lover.
What will it take?
Say that again.
What's it gonna take?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we can talk more when we get to where we're going.
Yeah, I think when we get there and we see this big old pig.
Because I have an idea. Obviously, it's going to take a whole day to get over there, but I've heard rumors of others like me in that area.
You're talking an army of rocks?
Not an army. There's usually not too many of us, especially with that beast around.
Anyway, I can.
He's thinned our numbers.
It's not good. Anyway, I'm a natural born leader.
I can see you are. You're very assertive.
Definitely.
No one taking a shit.
Everyone.
Ears perk up at that.
We told them to get away, and look at what they did. They went away. Oh, they respect me. That's for damn sure.
You ain't got no rocks for brains,
And-
that's for sure.
No.
At this point, Nixel would descend from the 10 feet above that he is.
Wait. I'm almost there.
How can I command this rock army? Be the rock commander.
I told you it's not an army. It's like, if I'm correct, there should be 3 or 4 of us.
How can I get them to listen to me?
Well, you actually have something they behold.
What is that?
Ivory.
Is that why
Sacred.
you were stealing that off the cart?
I wasn't stealing. Just looking.
Okay. I'll remember that.
But they have ancient magics that many traders used to pass by, and they would utilize our services. The ivory.
Why they want ivory? What is
It's a
a
very powerful substance.
What is a rock want ivory?
History. We have ways of manipulating magic, and I don't, but I've heard that they do.
brother used to talk about them all the time. They're called the Feldspar Conglomerate.
I'm gonna turn to Nixel at this point.
Exactly how much did Nixel hear? He knows that everyone was told to go away, but he gathers since he was flying, he was forgotten about.
The louder pieces.
We gotta. There's a rock army where the boar is, and they're gonna want ivory and they'll fight with us.
I must say, I don't think there'll be much help.
I mean, look at this guy.
I did, and I asked him
He's
to help
holding the
me.
plow.
I asked him to help me pull up the rope, and he only gave a few tugs, and then he was weary.
Nick, so if you don't want to lead an army of rocks, then so be it, but I'm sure it's hell gonna do it. I'm gonna be the rock commander.
And when that battle goes poorly, you can take the responsibility.
And when
Is
we
that something you want,
and when
Bosco?
we stomp Ironhide to death, I'm gonna be crowned king. Into the rocks.
Yes, and then you'll have no meat to take home to Darley, and you'll have failed to reclaim the stones of Ironhide.
Just stay out of it. It sounds like you need to just fly off and go tinker with your gun for a bit.
Actually, it's all clean now and ready to use.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to do? Otherwise, I'll have Nick's roll for perception.
Super bird. How big are these tusks in the car?
12.
Like,
How big are the tusks?
or are they like this big or like this big?
These tusks are about they're probably about 4 feet long.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Ooh. No way I
Nine.
could conceal it.
6.
Size of you.
Something the size of you, no.
These
Stick
were
it in your shirt through
these
your
were
pant leg and just
above average above average size boar that you
Definitely
guys
not,
killed.
considering I haggled for a better value for those.
About 9.
No, I'm just gonna give them all to the rock. To the
I thought it
rock.
was
your
your
perception roll.
6.
I thought more would have come out of that interaction, but he's just a rock. So one
He's a lover, not a fighter.
He's a 14.
14.
Teddy Rock.
I'd say with your 9, your birds flying around, getting a good vantage point of the area. As you guys come closer and closer to Gorthak's Maw, from the height advantage you get, you can see that the cliff edge drops down about 200 feet.
Oh.
And then it's got the large, like, canyon-sized
Yeah.
walls on the side. However, what you didn't expect is actually all of the area on the ground looks very green.
Huh.
For your perception check, you rolled a what again?
14.
14. I think you also see this massive cliffside, but what you're scanning around for at this time is a spot for the cart to make its way down. And you do spot one area that has this kind of like almost like a switchback staircase in the side of the cliff. On like as you're approaching, like you can see on one side of the cliff that if you would go that way, you can go back and forth kind of like this on the side. So that's the vantage point that you're getting.
I'm gonna yell back to hey, look.
Yes.
Do you know about this what looks like a ramp almost? Is it safe, secure, hold all our weight?
I mean, you're definitely gonna have to help the cart along. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have to use some muscles to get it to where it's going if you're bringing it down. And if you're gonna deal with
the Feldspar Conglomerate, you at least want something. If that's what you want to do, you don't have to. It was just an option. Obviously, I know we're hunting a beast.
Feldspar Conglomerate.
What is that?
Would I know the name?
You would not know the name.
What is that?
I was talking to Bosco, so from what I've understand, it's some sort of conglomerate of us, Galeb Duhr.
Would
I
Gax
believe
have heard
there's
of
an
it?
elder there, from what I've heard.
Would I've heard of it from
Nope.
my master? Okay.
Yeah, no, none of you would have heard of this group.
And are they competent in combat?
The Feldspar? No. Gardeners, like me.
So you're saying we'll want bargaining chips, is what you're saying? We need the ivory with
Ivory
us.
is very precious to them, yes, and they can manipulate it in fashions that could be beneficial to you all, as well.
Interesting. I would
Well,
like to see
first things first, you're going into a dangerous part. You're going to need some extra special equipment if you're going to traverse it without accident.
Before we start to make our way,
This is it going down, right?
we should probably, for those that need it, rest up before we start to make the descent. I agree.
So you guys have traveled about 20 more miles towards this mall. It's taken you most of the day. You guys will be getting there around 5 or 6 in the evening. So the sun will be setting.
No, as we're getting there.
So
Yep.
the question is do we want to camp for the night, or do we want to just do a short rest, try to get down there, and then set up camp?
I say get down there, because if we're like, why short rest here if we're gonna meet them anyway? Why not camp with them?
They Safety in numbers. That makes sense.
Looking to Caleb. How much further do we need to go in order to get to the conglomerate from here?
Well, I'm going on a hunch.
Okay.
A hunch.
They should be near this rock ledge. And he points straight down.
Have you ever...
I've heard that they are along the border.
So you've never met them before?
No.
Do we...
It was a group my brother had told me about.
Did your brother mention how we can declare our intentions to them?
They're probably peaceful.
Probably.
They said this, the stories I was told by my brother was that they used to do dealings with traders. I'm assuming that they're pretty much personable. Dealers, gardeners of some sort.
Then if they wish to make themselves known, they will probably reveal themselves.
Hearing that statement, Gax is gonna walk to the edge of the cliff. And can I just yell down? Not actually the voice, but what I'm gonna say is, my name is Gax. I'm a druid from the Lizard Man folk. Yeah, I'm a druid from the Lizard folk. I've come with ivory. I would like to trade.
I'm Gax of the Lizard Folk. I've come to trade ivory. You get no response.
At this point, Nixel is tapping some gears together, and he looks up to everyone and he says, "There's no point in wasting time. Let's just go."
I agree.
You said this is just a rock face, like it's just a drop off. How
Like
do
a
we get?
ramp thing.
Oh, there's a ramp.
let's pause real quick so I can fix that. We are back from break.
We're all safe.
Yes. The fire alarm went off in our house. Needed new batteries. Anyways, you guys were deciding on whether or not to camp up here at the top or go down 200 feet
I agree. Let's
and
go down.
attempt to find the Feldspar.
We're just wasting time.
Let's do a quick.
just...
They
Let's
have
do a quick
supplies.
poll. Like, who wants to rest up here and who doesn't?
Well, Caleb just told us that we needed more stuff, equipment to go down. And now we just want to jump and go down?
Not to go down, just not yeah. You guys can manage your way down, I would assume. You seem to be pretty well built. It's more about finding the Feldspar that we're uncertain about. Okay.
Well, let's take a quick
Young
poll.
master.
Question.
I don't have rocks for
Yeah,
brains.
Wait, did Caleb say that out loud in front of all of us?
Indeed, I did.
I have a
Young
question.
Master? Why do you call Bosco Young Master?
Well, he's got a nice helmet. The masters always have the helmets.
He's bluffing. I have more to me than you realize.
He starts to shrug his eyes at Caleb, and then he hears Bosco say that. He's like, I say we go down.
Let's take a poll.
As
With
the
our
poll starts, I have a question. Strength and carrying capacity. What's that conversion again?
15 times your strength.
15.
This is your strength attribute, not your modifier.
Now we bet.
Yeah.
This is math I can't do in my head. Hang on.
I've only lifted 30 pounds.
Actually, times
I
5
can
add a 0.
lift 135 pounds. So as the pole starts being brought up, I look around and I say, if anyone wants to ride down, I'll carry one person as long as you're not too heavy.
How much can you lift?
But
135 pounds.
Oh, here's the second.
Just living on
we
the
also have
person,
like
probably.
gear and
Literally,
stuff on.
well,
He's
maybe
looking at Ares and Bosco.
Yeah, but I also like have more than that with all the stuff that I'm carrying, like in my pack and stuff. Not looking like it would be.
You'd
more
be more
than that.
likely to carry him than anyone else.
Probably.
Would you like a ride down?
I'd like to partake in the poll first.
With that, Nixel would like swan dive off the cliff and start flying down.
Swan dive.
I wanted to go, but
What sounds
All right,
like
all
we've
right.
been
Yeah,
swan
pull it
dives
up.
down.
let's
I'll
short
send
rest
Nixon-
anyway. Let him
Nixon.
go down there, whatever.
Nixon.
I start to make my way down. Obviously, I'm gonna try to keep with the cart so that I can aid in any kind of
right
sleep.
with bones. to try
Alright,
to-
so you guys find your way towards
Let the cart
this
go
kind of
first, and then I'm
staircase
gonna be
area.
Mhm.
And as you get there, you can see that the problems he's talking about now, where there's like kind of like 2-foot cracks in between some of the levels, and getting the cart down there, it could bust up the wheel if it's dropped too hard on a piece, and then like turning the donkey around on its side to get the cart is potentially the cart's a little bit longer than some of the ledge space that's allowed there. So yeah, maneuvering this will be a little bit tricky.
Does it look like it's gonna be horrible to get the cart up the thing?
That does allude to, yes. It will be much harder to go back up with the cart than it will to go down.
This is like we're in the canyon thing, right? Valley? That's where we're like going into right
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Does it like
There seems to be
Does
a lot
it
of
look like-
shale and like red sandstone canyon walls, and then
Right.
the ground is kind of like green grass.
okay, but what I'm saying is does it look like what like how big is this canyon? Does it look like it goes on forever, or do we see any like dip or stop in the walls? Because maybe we'd go back another way, or does it seem like it just
Yeah, I second that. Like,
Why don't you give me a perception check with advantage?
can I guidance that as well?
Yeah.
And then with
At
Yeah.
D4.
Oh, okay.
as we're going down and seeing the green grass down at the bottom too, could I either do a nature or arcana check to see like kind of how this is happening,
How, what in particular? is
like
happening?
like how this grass is growing here almost. Because if it's in like this basinous area,
Sure.
doesn't it seem kind of like out of
This
place?
is a very big role.
Okay.
The DC for this role. Actually, before we get there, let's do the perception.
22.
We heard that.
22.
Chris is on to something.
22. Okay.
That was with the advantage.
There are a couple of other places where these stairs overlap, but it would take another hour or two to get there.
No. What do you mean stairs overlap? I'm talking about like in the distance.
In the distance, you see this. The canyons go back and forth.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, does it
Um,
look like there's another way that we could try to get out instead of coming back the same difficult
Yeah,
way?
like is there another ramp on the other side?
not-
It's
Tell.
literally a kind of, from what you can tell, it's a bowl. And on the other side, what should be the coast, the reason you couldn't see this area from when you were coming in on the boat is because that side is also bowled in.
Okay.
Also, in real life, these canyons like this, especially when they're winding, are built or occur from rivers cutting through the land after thousands of years. Cedric, being of noble birth and being educated, at least like well-rounded education in most of things, would he know that?
Give me a nature check on that.
It's not like a meteor or something.
Gore thanks law.
A 21.
Yeah, it's presumable to think about the canyon that at some point there used to be some sort of water erosion through this part.
So,
Even though it's
You
a
might
bowl.
roll. I find out
Even though it's a
that's
bowl.
not how this thing
Even
was
though-
made.
well,
Even though
that's what I'm
it's a
alluding to.
bowl,
Like,
it
I want
doesn't
that to
make any
happen.
sense.
So, and we all see that there's grass there.
Yes.
So Cedric will then let this be known to the group that these canyons are built by freshwater rivers cutting through the rock face for thousands of years. So the grass is probably being watered by some sort of freshwater source.
With that, DC is 25. And you're using nature on this.
Okay.
And you're going to roll with advantage for what the nature check was.
Wait, what's he rolling for?
Okay.
He's
Yeah, roll like a
rolling to
19.
find out.
Oh, the greenery.
Oh.
Oh. He's advantage too.
They're both 15s.
Oh.
You also have guidance.
26.
26.
Yeah, 15 plus 8 plus 30.
Digging much deeper into the thoughts of this, there used to be some sort of river passing through here. As you move closer and closer to the edge, trying to examine this area, you feel a wave as your cloak sort of billows behind you. You get this sense of negative energy. Something feels off here. Something's wrong. But it doesn't quite match the energy that the place is giving off. It's not an illusion. You're definitely seeing this.
Yeah.
There's no ripples of energy that are just glitching out in front of you, that sort of thing. But the energy that you feel feels almost like it wants to suck the life out of you.
Okay.
And with such a high check, I think because you're from Agros, you realize that this is potentially some sort of layer.
How far down?
Not to mention the name.
Yeah. How far down are we? Or is
You guys haven't started making your way down yet.
Okay. Change of plans.
Also, do I sense
Don't
this?
tell Nixel
Do I
that.
sense this? this energy at all?
If each of you wants to separately, I mean, he can vocalize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to, yeah. It's his land. If we go down there, as soon as we go down there, he'll know we're down there.
What effect would, yeah.
This is his hunting ground. This is his,
Lair?
yeah, his home.
Who's Gorth?
The massive boar thing that we need to kill, right?
No,
The dragon.
that's the dragon that the dragon that the first judge rode on before they had differences.
Yeah, let's not go down there right now.
Do you think that's where the labyrinth site would be, though?
That's probably.
We're not gonna find out.
Well, Nixel's finding out right now.
I was gonna say we're probably gonna find out when we go down there if it's true or not. If that's when we get it.
On that
It's
note,
strange that the dire boar would live in such a dangerous place.
is it?
Not necessarily.
What if the dire boar is a result of the energies in this place?
Exactly.
It has attained a reputation that is unusual. You want to use these scent glands to lure it out? You're kind of stepping ahead of us. Also, we still don't have a way to safely get the cart down. We don't. Does anyone have any equipment that would allow us to safely bring the cart down?
If I sleep tonight, I'll be able to make Zarzuros bigger again. So maybe he'll be able to either lower the cart down, like with a rope or something like that, or it might help us traverse the land a little bit easier. But he also gets a lot bigger, so I don't know if he'll be able to fit on the ledge. Yeah, on the ledge.
Do you think maybe we leave the cart up here after all we stole it and just load Bones up with the tusks? And then
How
he'll
are
have...
we gonna get, once we do kill the dire boar, how are we gonna get all his
Point.
stuff
Good point.
up here?
Oh, I forget I mentioned it.
We have to take the cart.
I
We're just gonna have to be careful with it.
I actually wouldn't mind Bosco's idea of just taking Bones down. Because at least some of us would be able to carry some of the things, and then the rest of it we could just tie off with Bones and have him drag it.
Can't Nixel just put an alarm on the cart again?
But
Yeah.
Dax, you just said you didn't even want to go down, and now you're talking about going down with Bones.
Well, no. We sleep up here.
Oh.
Tomorrow morning we go down
Okay.
when we have a better view of everything.
Because it's dusk.
Yeah, it's dusk.
Except for me, I'm bright as fuck.
And Nixel is already down.
Yeah.
No. What's going on with him? Did he go all the way down? Like,
And by the time this conversation has come around, he's down at the ground. You've landed on like what seems to be very fleshy grass.
you know,
It reminds you of being back home in kind of like the mushroom grove areas where it kind of bounces underneath your feet a little bit. It's very soft, and the blades are nice. And you get down, sort of land, and you look back up, and they're just chit-chatting away. As you turn around and sort of like scope out the area a little bit,
See a massive dragon face.
give me an Arcana check.
I was gonna say, can Nyx give him the help action, but never mind.
He's not even close.
No, he doesn't need it. No, Nyx is right now.
26.
Yeah. Oh, Nick.
You also
sorry.
get this feeling of this very strange magic that just tugs at your life force. To you, I would say his was a nature check, so it was more related to nature. Yours is Arcana. The nature of this magic that's tugging the life force from you I would say that you start to test a couple of your necromantic magics for healing and aid, just to test a theory, and they are deeply suppressed.
Healing magic or necrotic magic?
Healing magic. I said necrotic, but like healing magic is necrotic magic.
Yeah.
Would I see any boulders laying around?
There's bunches of boulders.
Nixel would look around and pick his favorite one and say, "I like that boulder.
That's a nice bowl.
That's a nice boulder." And he'd walk up and
Just the boulder.
Nothing. No response.
Just fly through the place, knocking on
Back
every
to
freaking
bowl.
rock.
As you hit that, you wait a second for any response. Your ears are tuned. You hear about 2-3 miles in the distance.
Do all of us hear this? Sorry.
You guys would hear it a little bit more faintly, but the echo still travels. But he would hear it first because he's within the bowl.
this sounded more like a boar or more like a
You don't know what it is, but it was big and loud.
okay.
You might have woken something up down there.
Hearing that and knowing that Nyx is down there. Oh, never mind. You said that it's 200 feet down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I can only give commands to familiars within 100 feet.
Okay, well, now that he's down there, can't like yell down there, like, Nixel, get the frick back up here! Like, so hoping that it echoes back down to him.
Yeah, but then whatever he made that noise will hear it too.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's a quick study.
And I start to make my way back up so we can set up like a camp at the top.
I follow on. Yes, my skilly friend, I think you are correct with that. And I follow him.
Those two boats for setting up camp up top.
After that, my intuition seems to be good.
Yeah, so Nickel would real quickly take out a bunch of pieces out of his pockets and his tinker's tools. And he'd start like buzzing away, and he's casting detect magic. But what he's creating, obviously, I'm just trying to figure out more about this like aura that's like affecting this place. But what he's creating, where is my tinker's tools? Come on, they're somewhere. They're here somewhere. Use tools. Sorry. Here we go. Detect magic. Yeah, he's creating like a like a thopter type little flying like drone thing almost.
Quidditch?
And it's flying around and it's like scanning the area with like a magical vision, kind of like a drone would.
Okay.
Kind of just searching for something.
Alright.
In those video games, you gotta be super sneaky, and they have like the view.
And what are you looking for in particular?
I'm casting detect magic.
And
So
it's a 30-foot radius. Are you telling it to go more inward, or are you telling it to stay along the edge? Where is it going?
It's going in a circle around me, so both. I'd say I'm not like right at the edge, am I?
You are near the edge.
Okay, so in a semicircle in front of me, then. So inward.
Okay. You're not getting any magic signals back.
Well, that's a bummer.
There's no actual incantations or enchantments that has been placed upon it. The arcana that you rolled was more related to a species of beast, and since you rolled so high, the layer itself, this is just what happens when you're around a dragon. When they have set up a home, the energy just emanates from them and their horde.
Okay. With that, Nixel would not like pat the grass, but he'd be like, "I'll be back," and then fly up back to his friends.
Okay.
My bird follows him.
Alrighty. You end up back up top. They're discussing laying down before going down.
Yeah.
What's the final result? What's the consensus?
We should make. Yeah.
I don't know about what your plans are, but I'm sleeping up here.
For sure. I think it's the safest option. And in the morning, we'll shimmy our cart down there and see what we can find. And
Again, I don't think bringing the cart is the best idea.
I second keeping the cart here.
I think it's the only way we're gonna get any materials back.
I agree with Zarzaros.
There's no other way to get it up. You could put it. We don't know how big this dire boar is. I mean, the ones we fought were pretty decently sized.
We can come back for the cart if necessary. If we get stuck with the cart down there, we're screwed.
If I may, the Feldspar Conglomerate are rocks, no?
They are.
Could they fill in the gaps of these 2-foot drops if we trade our ivory with them?
Or we could just have the rock guy that we have with us now just do it for us.
That only covers one axle. We'd need the other side of the cart.
Also, isn't he not as strong as he looks?
It's different if he turns into a boulder.
Oh, you want him to just sit there to fill in the empty space?
Yes.
It's a good idea, and perhaps we can get the Feldspar to work with us on it.
It's a problem for tomorrow. Let's get some rest.
I will take first watch.
First watch.
I will take watch with Zarzaros.
I'll take
Second
watch.
with you.
Okay. So
I
you
get
two on first watch, you two on
Second one.
the other three on third.
That makes Bosco, Aries, and Nixel.
A reunion.
Wait, oh, it's the second time. Yeah.
Alright. So as you guys sort of unbundle yourselves, loosen all that uncomfy armor for whoever needs to do that, you two roll a perception check.
Oh. Can we guidance that?
You can guidance, but you will be at nighttime, so you're at disadvantage.
Can I do a straight roll with aid from my bird?
No, because it's also a disadvantage.
Oh,
It doesn't have dark vision.
Oh,
right?
we don't. Oh, no one made a fire.
no. No, you did make a fire.
Can you do that?
No, I did not take that.
If there's a campfire bone, like if the campfire bones are set up, I can do it. But I can't do it without an existing, like,
An existing
Stuff.
campfire.
wood and stuff.
I find that
set
so
up.
funny that I'm the druid and you're the one that has druid craft as a. I looked at it and I was like, I don't need this.
I don't have any tools to make campfire.
Mistakes.
They dark.
Yeah.
Disadvantages?
No, I think. Is there anything, I guess, in like the immediate vicinity and stuff like that, with like the little light that we have? No, sorry. we're not at disadvantage. I have 20-foot bright light and then 20-foot dim light on me since I still haven't rested from my wild shape.
Okay, so with that, actually, because I forgot about that,
Yeah.
what you notice as you walked towards the edge before is that not only do you feel the negative energy, but any bright light is also suffused.
Okay.
It's not dim light.
Yeah. Okay. Shit, that sucks. But more
decision to sleep off.
yeah. More pressing matter. Is there any like trees or anything like that around us at all, or no?
I mean, you could easily find a couple of good trees, branches
Yeah.
here and there to make a campfire.
Yeah. That's all that
Yeah, I would assist.
Gax would do, and then
It won't provide you with much, but I mean,
More warmth, I guess, than anything. It gets cold at night.
no, not even warmth. I think it's more for just like security and light.
Aren't you cold-blooded?
I am.
And in real life, cold-blooded creatures either hibernate or they die.
No. But what I'm saying is like just for like safety's sake, like
Yeah.
having a fire grants us light, and then from like scares away other.
I just thought lizard folk
animals
would be
or
more
anything
pressed,
that-
like we need a fire.
No.
even setting up the fire, you guys realize that it's still dim.
Yeah.
So give me those disadvantage checks.
Damn.
I would be. Well,
disadvantage.
I guess looking beyond that.
5. The general vicinity yourself.
I got a 9.
Lovely.
I got a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
I would say as you sort of like you either found a stump or a smaller rock to sit on, or even like a log, maybe the side of the cart you're leaning up against. I will say for you, Gex, as you're sort of conversing a little bit with Cedric, you look up towards the sky, and you notice something different about the constellations here. There's one that you've not seen before, just sort of hovering in the middle of the space, the blank space. It's not in any sort of shape or form, but it's stars you don't recognize.
Being the stars that I don't recognize, you would see Gax kind of like plop down on the ground as he pulls his staff into his lap and starts unraveling it. And like I said before, it's like it's a crystal with like a thin layer on it that just keeps unraveling and unraveling and unraveling. And Gax will get to the section of the sky that's above him now, and he'll start adding the constellations in and trying to. Can I do either like an insight or a perception check to see if Gax can kind of figure out what constellation is, or like what the shape would be, I guess, or like what it would, yeah, like what shape it would be?
I mean, you could copy it for sure,
Yeah.
but studying it could take some time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think for the rest of the watch, Gax would study the specific like.
And so as you open up your map and you look on the map to see where it should be, and it is blank on your map as well. So you start to sort of like pencil in just by using a little bit of like greenish or silverish magic.
I think for when Gax is charting stars, as he's unraveling the crystal and stuff like that, he almost kind of pulls a like a stylus or a pen out of the top of it, and it would be silver, and it would be almost like an ice pick, like very very sharp at the end. And he doesn't write on the crystal; he pokes holes through it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. With that, the end of your shift happens, and Zazros and Aragar take over. Give me your disadvantage perception checks.
Four.
14.
You hear once again, both of you, but it seems a little bit further away to you, Zarzaros.
Can I
As if it's moving away from you.
can I like do a nature or something to kind of decipher, is this a creature I've heard before in Agaros? Is this dragon-like in nature?
Give me
More like in
a
nature.
nature check. The DC is going to be a 20.
Okay, that's not gonna be it. It's a 9.
9? Yeah, no idea what this thing is.
I really hope we don't face that, whatever that is, tomorrow.
I just hope it is not the boar.
Let's hope it's not the dragon.
I won't rule it out. It's certainly possible based on recent revelations.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings me to why I wanted to have this watch with you. How are you feeling? We learned some interesting information regarding her mercy and the judges.
Well, I can't say that I exactly side with Jacksamar's decision, but he's his own person. Happened who knows how long ago. There's nothing I can change about it. It's strange that, well, I guess it isn't so strange that it was such a hushed topic in the temple.
Oversights from well-intentioned people can be difficult to admit. Sometimes truth hurts.
Well, it clearly hurt him in a way that he couldn't go on in the same way he had been living. I'm still not decided on where these judges fit in. Maybe you have your own insights on that, but
To me, they're a correction to well-intentioned negligence. Not on your part, mind you. Individuals are complicated, but it seems so are deities. I understand that Lendis is well, he's proven to be a difficult taskmaster so far. But without judgment, it seems that the wolves have started to crowd around people. I mean, there's a reason this cult seems to be doing what they are doing and getting away with it. I won't let that happen.
that's good to hear, although we know precious little about the cult itself. I wish we had more answers. I'm sure we'll find our way there, but
Something I've learned growing up in the Veshlands is that good people, in times of piece can overlook the wolves among them. And then that requires a more... It requires a firmer hand to deal with them.
There is still always room for some mercy. Given not because it's deserved, but out of he struggles to find the words and kind of goes silent a little bit.
I chuckle and
I feel like we'll be going back and forth on this until we find, how do I put it? Equilibrium.
And as I'm saying that, I pull out the tome, start to look through it, and I'm not like hiding the tome. You can see me pull it out.
As you pull it out and everything, I'll just kind of...
The tome has similar glyphs and runes to his own, but not the same.
As you pull it out, Sardaros is just gonna kind of leave you to your own thing. He's actually just gonna close his eyes and start to pray.
Okay. I'm gonna just, again, looking through the book again, trying to match up any of the symbols or anything I've seen. I'm still trying to get a grasp on this and try to see if I can even determine what kind of a language it is. I know I don't recognize it, but you know, whether you want me to roll on it or if it's fruitless, that's fine.
Because language takes so long to learn, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah. I mean, our guard is
in the rules they make language like if you want to study it, it's like 6 months of work.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I'm mostly treating it as like Argar's looking at this like a long term, like a jigsaw puzzle where it's going to take lots of chipping away before he even gets closer to figuring it out. But he constantly forces him to do it to see if anything clicks at any point in the future.
Anything else?
I'll just say his prayers are kind of focused on that being not super new, but relatively new to his oath and the paladins. He's just asking for mercy in that he doesn't always have all the answers and he needs that guidance.
Cool. Awesome. And with that, you two sort of meander along, find your way back to finish up your rest, and you wake up the other three, Ares, Bosco, and Nixel.
This time I'm gonna wake up Ares. And again, just like, I just put my hand on your shoulder and go,
Wake up.
I'm just like, just turn around, whatever, just get up. Like, all right,
So you guys,
not too alarmed.
perception checks at disadvantage except for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
5.
5.
Nat 20! And my dark vision!
6.
6. You guys wake up all groggy. It's dark out. You got a low lit flame. You can't see much. But Ares, on the other hand, I think you see her as you're kind of getting yourself up. She's wide awake and she's over walking around near the edge again. And as you look down and scan the sides of the wall, you see that about 500 feet to your right,
Hmm.
there seems to be a light, a low lit flame that's just tucked inside a hollow, like small hollow cove, and it's just sort of like you see the emanation of like not a bright light, obviously, but just some sort of yellowish green hue. And it would be about after going down, it would be about 500 feet to your right, along the border of the wall.
Okay. That's it.
Yep.
Alright. I think I'll turn to you guys all groggy and be like, there's definitely someone down there set up camp about 500 feet that way. I can only see like a little glow, but
I imagine that's where the Feldspar Conglomerate is.
possibly.
You
The
wanna-
rocks need a bunch of light and fire in the middle of the night.
I don't know. I think it's something else other than a rock. I think we have Nixel fly down and kind of look from above.
It's 500 feet to the right, Bob. If you want to go and take a look.
We'll take a
I
look.
fully
Just-
support that decision.
Just flutter down and keep your distance.
Stay up and just go over. Good idea, Bosco.
I think
Persuasion. Persuade
roll
him.
it, roll it.
Persuade him. Wait,
If you're not willing, then make a charisma save.
I'll roll.
What's mine? Mine's really freaking high.
8.
What's your roll? You're the DC.
21.
Ooh.
I have +0.
I have a plus.
What was
Persuasion. Persuasion, so I can do what I want.
It's
Still rolling at 22. You never know.
17.
I would say you're
Flying.
heavily resistant, but
I mean, wait, realistic.
regardless of whether it's safe or not, it is a good idea. And she did spot something.
Wait, realistically, like, how long does it take to, like,
Not to mention you had the idea of it possibly being the conglomerate.
Yeah, so I mean,
how long would it take us to kind of me to walk over, like, semi part of the way with him? Like, is that
To walk down the staircase.
not down, over? Like, to kind of be, like,
Oh,
there in case.
Uh,
I don't know.
you can get there in 60, so I don't know, a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if I would be like, you could go scope it out, but definitely me with my dark vision, I can go like at least stay on the top and walk over there with you and see if anything else. And also in case anything were to go crazy.
yeah, I mean, Nixel thinks that sounds good.
Alright. You good, Bosco?
Well, how much do you weigh over there?
There's a weight on this. I'm carrying. Oh no, I'm not carrying on.
I'm thinking if Nixel's gonna fly down and can't see anything, he ought to carry you down. You look and
I guess he probably could carry me if I don't have all my stuff on me.
just
I
leave
don't
it
have a
here.
bunch of weapons and all my gear, like packing stuff on.
Leave it here at camp. I'm gonna protect the group.
I don't know. What do you
guys can
think?
Go over there.
Don't drop me. Or should I just stay up top?
Because I think Nixel, you're
Why
gonna have to
not?
get way too close to see that.
That is true. I mean, you can fly over, but you can't really see because it's what 200 feet down.
Just hold her by her feet so she.
But I'm
I can't see.
toes.
I can't see very well in the dark, so
You
Yes.
have to go
I think
down.
taking
and then
you
look.
is a better idea.
Okay, so maybe like don't go all the way over. Just go, partially, but down a little bit, and you carry me. But I got nothing on me. If something were to go crazy. No arrows, no dash.
I have all
I'm vulnerable.
Bosco, you're staying here. Would you like some extra help?
No, I got it. I got it.
With that, Nixel would walk over and he'd like. It's silly, but he'd like hold his arms out like this 3'5" dude, like looking up at
5'7".
Aries, just like hop in my arms.
I'm gonna like gonna be like, there's no better way for this. There's no better way. Carry me.
Well, I had a rope
hold on to my feet, but that seems a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah, I guess I can't get on your back because your wings. All right,
Princess Carrie.
let's go, bub.
And Princess carries Ares down the canyon.
As you slowly flitter your way down, and you start to get more and more eye view of this light that's protruding from the side of the wall. How far down do you want to go? She can see 60 feet.
Right, so I think definitely give
As
us
we
that
are
advantage.
flying, I'd like not whisper, but the grog is clearing from his voice. He'd kind of ask Ares, just let me know when you're comfortable and we'll stop.
Imagining we can make some whispering sweet nothings while he's carrying the elf in his arms.
That's not the goal.
He's blind flying. You're like,
It's like,
try and move forward.
Just trying to be quiet.
oh my god.
Imagine Aries being like, don't whisper in my ear.
I'm like, got it. All right. So I mean, I would want to at least keep that 60 feet. Sorry, vantage. Like not
Alright.
stop there.
Okay.
To try to get a better look, but not. get
As
too
you
close.
get about that distance, you can see that there's clearly what looks to be some sort of tunnel entrance. And on each side of the tunnel, kind of like hollowed out, there's a small crevice that's just got like a some sort of like liquid that's just like dropped on it and is slowly like burning this yellowish green hue. Around it, there's all these like rock-like protrusions that are just coming out of the ground, kind of like stalagmites. And as you get down there, you can also smell the scent of like some syrup and pine mixed together. The masonry, there's actual masonry around this entrance. It's got what looks to be kind of like a different texture than the rest of the stone that's around this area. It has kind of an off-white red stone rather than an orangish red. All right. It looks kind of chalky or dusty.
Like a limestone,
Uh,
as opposed to like a clay.
more along the lines that like if you were to actually go down, you'd be able to swipe it and it would leave residue on your finger. So yeah, this is what you guys see.
So just an entrance.
Yeah.
And it's
And
the
the
glow
tunnel
like
that
liquid.
goes on further in, you can't see the end of it, so it must twist and turn. But it's pretty dark in there. There's no light emanating from within the tunnel.
Sorry.
I was like, what?
Sorry. He just knows what I'm thinking.
Oh. Do you think that's the Feldspar Conglomerate?
Feldspar.
Feldspar. Sorry.
I think I.
Pick the gun.
Are you no longer whispering?
No, he'd be keeping up.
I think I'd tell him, yeah, I'm like, there's just an entrance. I don't see anybody or any like rocks or boulders. But they said it was a liquid that was dripping, right? That's causing the glow.
Not dripping,
Or,
it's
like-
just like been placed there, like poured onto this like hollowed out part of the stone. Kind of like it was made for lamps or like to put an oil lamp in, but instead there's just like a oilish liquid that's just burning on the rocks.
I mean, I guess we can't see anything else till we get closer, right? 'Cause you said it weaves in and out, or
Yeah.
like the tunnel weaves in, so you have to like go in.
So you have to go in to see further, yes.
Okay. I'll tell you everything I saw, like what I just said now, but I can't see anything else. Like the entrance is too dark. Like all I see is this liquid that has caused the glow. But we'd have to go in further to find anything else out. But I don't see anything that looks like boulders. Nice boulders. Or people. Or
Hearing that, Nixel would say, well, we didn't come all this way for nothing. And start flying towards the tunnel.
But you can't see the tunnel. You need
I can see
direction.
the light.
Oh, I guess you can see the light, right?
Yeah.
You're closer.
Yeah, so
But
I'd
I don't
fly
have any
over to the
weapons.
tunnel and I'd land and I'd like look at you as like I'm like, can you get off now?
So there's,
Like
there's not
trying
like you said it
to
was in the wall, the structure, right? It's not like a puddle or something on the ground, right? I don't want to step in it.
No, there's no puddle
Okay.
or anything.
Okay.
The only like liquidish thing is the oil or whatever liquid is in those like hollowed out alcoves. They're not very big. It's like this big of an alcove that's just been hollowed out into the rock and then has this oil and a small flame kind of like burning on it.
How long have they been gone?
Sorry.
This, I
Look
mean,
at everybody else.
they've been gone 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm not worried yet.
Okay.
No, there's a point I'm gonna
So-
wake people up, but
Yeah.
makes sense.
I mean, we can go in, but you can't really see
So you
anything,
sort of
and I
bring her
have no
down to her
weapons, so
feet?
we're kind of
Yeah, so I land and
Alright,
hop off.
get-
And,
as you guys sort of like slowly make your way up towards the tunnel and just sort of like peeking inside, you can see it sort of just winds left and right and continues in that sort of fashion. There. Give me a perception check. Since you don't really know what you're looking for.
Oddly tense situation.
17.
17.
Wait.
You see
yeah.
down towards near one of the edges of where the turns would be, there's what looks to be some sort of tableau or like painting of some sort on the wall. It's jagged, it's rough looking, but on it there seems to be pictograms.
Okay. Wait. So can he see a little bit more now, or no? That's too far. Because like the glow.
He can't see in the dark.
All right. Well, first I go. How fast can you fly? In case we gotta get out of here.
about as fast as I can run.
Looks like there's some sort of like pictogram up there. You want to go further so we can try to take a look?
The more information we can take back, the better.
All right. Let's
Make
go.
it worth it.
You make your way a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Are
gonna
you
be
looking
great.
at? Are you going to be investigating this painting, or are you just moving past?
No, I want to go look at the painting that I saw.
Okay.
I'm not touching anything, and I'm pretty stealthy before y'all say stuff. I'm being cautious. I can see.
This is the big tense.
As you journey about
What?
80 feet into this tunnel, and you get to the first kind of
We've gone
curving-
80 feet total in. 80 feet total in.
Yeah.
Pretty windy.
Okay.
You get up to this carving, and as you're examining it, give me an investigation check, both of you.
Oh, you're alive. Oh shit.
Not good.
either.
I got an 8.
With my massive modifier, I only got a 10.
Oh.
Both of you walk up to it, and you find one, you're familiar with ivory. It's made of ivory. 2, the carving on it shows a serene valley.
Okay.
And it's been carved into this ivory tablet on the wall. moving inward.
You shouldn't have rolled. You shouldn't have rolled. I was like, yeah, where did he go? Then he rolls. Well, what do we see from there? Like, where we're standing, what do I see? Like, I know it winds. Is there like multiple
around and
tunnels?
goes
Or...
back the other way. Very, very windy.
Same amount of light coming from that direction.
Zero light. There's no light in this tunnel.
But I can. So me looking ahead, all
So
I see is
basically,
all I see for 60 more
whole thing
feet is
You're like,
I'm like holding on to mom's
you're like
hand.
doing
Please lead me.
over here. We need a picture of that. Sure.
Mama Aries. There you go.
Mom's got you. Not really though. I can only see. I have no hands. You have to have me. So the 60 feet is just tunnels that I can see in dark vision.
It just keeps winding around.
I mean, I want to see what's going on, but curiosity kills the cat. So, what do you think? I know you can't see. Should we keep going? Should we try to look at this maybe later on? I don't know what this will be like during the day.
Well, from what I gather, this is the Feldspar Conglomerate, and this used to be their valley. However, it seems Gorthak likely destroyed it, and now it's his lair.
I mean, yeah, but you don't want to know what's deeper in the tunnels? Or are you
do,
good with
but
leaving?
I think there might be a more opportune time to investigate that.
And I must say, you guys talking is like,
whispering.
We're whispering. Even with the whisper, it just echoes all over the place.
Oh, that's not good. Nixel's used to that though in the Fey Dark.
Alright, how long have we been gone?
At this point, it's probably been like 7 or 8 minutes.
10 minutes.
It's
still
not
minutes.
really that long, but Bosco's anxious. And Bosco's gonna wake up Gax, because Gax has had the connection with this place.
Sure. Fair enough.
Hey, Gax, you get up, get up.
Get up.
Are you awake?
Yes, now I am. What's up?
Aries and Nixel, they went down in the canyon. And they've been gone for like 8 minutes now.
Is it? God, he's like a sibling.
Walking towards the
After he recommended
do I see the light?
I would say that, yeah, Bosco probably is able to point out the light and where they went, so you'd be
Even
able
though he
to
couldn't
see.
see it, you can point.
It's 500 feet to the right, straight down.
Oddly specific. Yeah.
Really helpful. I'm just gonna send the bird. I'm not gonna go myself. I'll just send the bird.
He doesn't care about us.
Send the bird to go-
Still in bed.
Yeah.
That's a
Alright.
great idea, send the bird.
You see the
I
same.
don't know what the fuck's down there. I don't know what that.
A minute later, you see the same kind of entrance with the masonry, the chalky-looking stuff,
Yeah.
the oil kind of lights.
You're Oh my
And I would
god.
say you
Use it
probably
to
hear
guide
a
you.
little bit of like
whispers
coming from
and
the
stuff?
tunnels that are just like
Okay.
them talking, essentially.
How far down is this?
We went
200 feet.
but we went 80 feet through the tunnel. Or no,
You-
80.
Yeah,
plus-
you went 80 feet or so through the
Okay.
tunnel. Yeah.
Oh, so sorry. So is the tunnel on like the base floor? I
The
guess?
tunnel is in the base. They went through this entrance,
Yeah.
and the tunnel's just winding
Okay,
back
okay.
and forth.
And he can't.
Yeah. I think the command I would have just given Nyx is to find them, so the bird will just keep flying in.
You guys all of a sudden hear a,
Like, God, Boston must have gotten nervous.
Yeah.
and then it just
He fell out.
wood behind you.
So would I know this is Nyx? Like it's dark. Obviously, I probably wouldn't know. So
No,
I'd
no.
ask you
No, you. So you would. So Nyx itself is a.
Oh, does he glow?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay.
So Nyx itself is kind of like this, almost like starry sky bird. So Nyx looks like a. Oh, what was the bird?
Nightingale.
It was a nightingale, yeah. So Nyx is a nightingale, and it almost looks like it has a galaxy kind of within its chest.
That's dope.
Yeah,
But it's dimmed out.
yeah, but it,
Right,
but yeah.
right. Okay. So at this
So
point,
it's not like you could actually gain an advantage from it.
Nixel would say to Ares,
Well, it looks like Bosco got nervous.
I say that's what I just said.
he'd
Yeah.
pull his phosphorescent moss back out and toss it in the air and flick his pistol as it lands in there, and he'd flick it back, and he's casting light.
Okay. It is immediately suffused into dim light.
But at least we have some light.
But you have some light, yes.
We may as well keep going.
Gax's eyes. Well, yeah. Gax's eyes kind of like roll back into his head, and it's just white.
Now you're out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna go wake up the
Oh,
others.
no. So, but, like,
Ring of an alarm.
shit. Yeah, I guess you
One
never
by
would have
one.
seen this, but
As you guys are doing all this,
But
you
as
hear
you-
that sound again.
but as you're
In the
walking
louder
away,
one.
No.
Would I, as a Drake Warden, have any?
Huh?
Would I, as a Drake Warden, have any connection to a dragon noise?
It's the same check, DC 20.
That wasn't even a roll.
I know. Well, I dropped it
Bro,
on.
that was a
Nothing.
flop.
but as you're walking away to go wake up the group, I say, I found them. They're down in the basin in some sort of what I can only assume is the conglomerate's entrance.
Okay, I won't go since you're conscious. You're awake. I won't go alert everyone else.
There's no response.
What time is it right now?
I can't hear you or see you. I can only, like, if you touch me, then I can feel it.
You guys have another 2 hours before your shift will be over.
Which
Do
we
I-
went on last, so that would be what, like.
So the sun will be rising
Okay.
in like an hour or two.
Okay.
Do I not get a long rest? Because
No,
of it?
you will.
Okay.
You will, yeah.
After.
Not that mean.
I was thinking, I was like,
So-
shit.
You just woke up a little early.
You
Yeah.
screwed.
Maybe come back to your house.
I think if it's almost daylight, like if we have some like perception of time, and that if we think this is what it is, like maybe we just wait. We can go back, we can tell the others, and then maybe like a couple of us come back down here and go further if we wanted to, or if we needed to.
The bird is furiously shaking its head.
Like agreeing.
Yes, agreeing.
With that, Nickel
Yep.
looked at the bird and looked at you, and he's like,
I'm a little bit greedy.
Yes. I'm rooting for it.
I mean, again,
My idea.
I'm curious, but I'm more nervous that I have to rely on you and be vulnerable because I don't have any of my weapons or any of my stuff. Like, that's why I'm a little more cautious. Normally I'd be like, let's go.
If this is the Feldspar Conglomerate,
Big is
If-
the
then I
nightingale.
don't think you have anything to
I
worry
mean,
about.
yeah, but we don't know for sure. We make an assumption.
thinking a bit, he remembers something about ivory, and I might want to have that.
Yeah.
Feldspar Conglomerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he turns again and says,
I'll have to wait till later to sate my greed.
and starts walking up the tunnel.
Alrighty. So as you walk out of the tunnel, you link up with Ares once more.
Take
You
you
guys-
through the little.
Up to the top again. Bosco, you see them arrive at the top and start heading back your way. And for the sake of brevity, that ends the long rest. You guys can refresh everything. The sun starts to come back up.
So, what is it you choose to do on this fine morning?
I think the first thing that Gax does is I'm gonna send Nyx to go look for the boar.
Just straight up go look for the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing Nixel would do would be to take out a day's rations, a wafer, a single wafer, and a small glass of water, and he'd eat that. Wonderful.
Probably wolf down the rations, the meat rations that we partitioned from all the boar that we collected, and then I'm going to start the morning by burning a charge. I want to speak with Lendis.
You go off on your own, or you're sticking around the party?
I get some distance, and I look like I'm just kind of. Again, I pantomime as though I'm doing my usual, like, rites and stuff like that, but I'm actually just communicating with Lendis briefly.
Okay.
We seem to have come across an energy from this basin, this Gorthax maw.
Almost too loud for your own head to comprehend. It, the voice yells back at you.
You are in unsafe territory. You should be more careful with the weapon. I should restrict my use for now. Never felt anything quite like this. Its power is beyond any mortal. Will using the flail track Gorthax's eye? You speak his name so easily. You should be more careful with that name. I'll keep that in mind. But we are. What is it you seek to achieve here in this place? We're here to kill a boar. I suspect this boar has been corrupted by this place. This iron, is it iron hoof or iron hide?
I wish I named that.
It's iron. You would be correct.
With that, Argard thinks for a minute, and he asks,
It seems this energy pulls at you. It dims any magical light. Is it trying to sap energy, souls, by force? It is the lair of what was once a demigod. An echo. An executioner. One of the immortals. He was close to succeeding. I've heard this title before, the Executioner.
With your silence.
yeah, I don't think I have nothing else to really ask. Yeah, I feel it, but go back to the group. Once everyone's kind of gathered around, I say, Gax, it seems this, and I say this to the group, but I do direct that to you. It seems that this energy is it's more of an echo, but that doesn't mean we should tread carelessly.
I agree. I wasn't able to tell if the dragon was still here or not, but at least its power still remains.
We should also be wary to utter his name going forward. It seems that can draw attention.
Names do have power depending on how strong one is.
Also, I think this has been made abundantly clear, but he is referred to as an executioner.
Who is he?
The dragon?
Yeah. I nod.
So all we have left is the jury then.
That's all I know. But this is all very above us. We should be aware on how we infer this information. I can consult Blandis for certain things, but we still need to make our own decisions.
Would you guys have talked about your little adventure down at the?
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
the where?
Down,
I mean,
in the
The
thing.
entrance to the conglomerate.
Like, have you brought it up yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Nexel would have mentioned it while he was away talking.
While we're eating our breakfast, a little wafer. Yeah, I would say. And who knows kind of what's going on too.
Yeah.
Blew the bird down that we found an entrance. And
I think it would be worth our while to go visit them first.
Can't believe we didn't ask about the freaking growling.
Oh, so stupid.
Whatever.
be like, I forgot.
No, it's a one-off.
It's almost like I distracted you for a reason.
Those phone calls.
My bird found this thing yet?
No.
Yeah. I also just send it out, see what happens.
Go.
Well, let's get the cart down there and see if we can talk these things into helping us.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Well, if we want them to help us, shouldn't we leave the cart here and they come back for it?
When Nyx flew through the entrance and stuff like that, how big was that entrance?
Big enough for Aries to walk in without crouching.
Big enough to fit a cart and a donkey
Not
there?
wide.
Not that big, no.
I still would refrain from bringing the cart. I think that will literally get us killed.
I second that motion.
We don't care enough to continue this argument. We will leave it behind.
As you will.
So as you guys sort of tie up Bones,
At
and
least
are you guys going to be bringing any ivory
We
with you?
think
thought
some
Bones
ivory
was
with
cut
No, yeah, I think we're gonna bring Bones with us.
to
Cause
carry
it-
the ivory.
Yeah, because it would be a lot easier for at least just the donkey to get down.
Okay, you have 10. How many are you bringing?
10.
We're
You're
bringing
bringing
all the
10.
ivory?
Yes.
All
At
of
least
These
that's
are
Gag's
big ass
mentality.
tusks.
Can they fit on Bones?
How much do they weigh? Like,
Oh, you're
Ivory's
bringing
not
just
just
the
the
donkey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
you said 10.
Oh, so you're strapping the ivory
Cart.
to the donkey,
Yeah.
Untethering.
and you're doing all 10.
I mean,
I think we should do at least 5.
Yeah.
I'd say half is better.
Alright, so you're
Sounds
taking
great.
5 with you. Cool. As you guys,
Can you set another little alarm for the cart? you did last time? Some sort of.
And Gax himself has
That
2.
depends on how far we're going.
Gax himself has 2 tusks on him that he took from last time.
Okay.
But
Is that
for-
part of the 10?
I think so. So 8, and then somebody took 5, or we're taking 5.
Okay. So there's 5
They're
on him,
big
5 on
things,
Carl.
though, right? They're like
4-foot long tusks.
Before.
How heavy are they?
No, you can't.
They're pretty dense. They're probably like 50, 60 pounds.
For ivory tusks?
These are big,
Huge.
4 feet. And ivory, I think it's pretty dense.
Ivory is not super dense. And it's in real life. I don't know D&D, but
Oh, maybe.
Looking around and stuff like that, is there any way that I would be able to camouflage the cart so that it is just harder to spot, I guess? So that people don't like walk up. I understand that we're super far out in the savannah and stuff like that, but I just don't want another rock person to be like, hey, there's ivory here. Let's fucking take it.
That is why I was kind of apprehensive about leaving it behind.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, you can do
wait,
your
where's
best to hide it if you wanna
where's
get a stealth
um,
check.
Yeah.
where's our friggin'
I'll help
Caleb?
Or survival.
Oh,
I would like
well,
to
no,
Can't,
Caleb.
Caleb's
can't
still there.
Caleb, like, we have him to I mean, I know we can't really do anything, but if any other friggin' whatever they are, came nearby, he could be like, hey.
I think it would be helpful to have
I mean,
Caleb
yeah, that's true.
with us to talk
Yeah,
with Feldspar.
That's true.
Would anybody like to help me?
I will
get
help
this
you.
cart?
Yeah, I will help you disguise the cart and get it concealed.
Yeah, and then I'll be using like Druidcraft to like make bushes grow and shit like that to
Okay.
yeah, cover it up.
you said this is 4
Guidance.
4 foot long. Ivory is 2 to 3 times denser than wood, so it'd be 2 to 3 times heavier than a 2x4.
So it's heavy as crap.
Yeah.
A 1 2x4 is not that.
No, it's not. Wait, sorry.
2 to 3 times denser than wood, so 2 to 3 times heavier than wood by volume. So if it's 4 feet long, it'd be 2 to 3 times heavier than a 2x4.
Well,
Except we're boiling down into specifics when the DM said 50 and 60.
yeah. and on top of that, when you're talking about a 2x4 is the width and height, not the length.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, because normally 2x4s come in 16s, 10s, 8s, and 4s.
Carpenter.
I'm like, let's go.
No,
These
are all magical D&D board. They can do whatever they want. Who manufacturing?
You are bringing down 5 tusks on bones
Yes.
and traversing the back and forth switchback.
Can he carry that?
Yes. He can carry 400, no, something like 500 pounds or something.
Okay, so
What's my check to disguise the car?
Stealth or survival?
Survival it is. 17. 21.
21.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you do your best to use Druidcraft, put some bushes around it to make it less just sitting out in the open for like anyone that would approach it and question like why it's here. Best case scenario is as long as there's no like humanoids around, it will go undisturbed.
Okay.
May I roll a check after Argar was talking about, his meditation over and off in the distance, and I heard
Like Justice Boy.
when I heard executioners around here, can I have a check to see if that links to anything from my dream?
I mean, the name itself links to your dream.
Well, but do I feel anything?
Not when he says it, no. There's no like innate sense of like doom or like a light bulb goes off in your head or anything. There's none of that, no. It's just the name catches you off guard a little bit that he's saying this and you didn't necessarily tell him anything.
I'm the
about
only
that.
one that knows about the
Right.
executioner.
Was I in your dream?
No.
No, okay.
I'm the only one that sees the vision, so anything I leave out when I describe it back to you is
In-
only known to me.
Yeah, never happened. Okay. No. The only
Which
reason I'm
means-
asking is because I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out if I've seen the dragon and stuff like that was here, but never mind.
Yeah,
If I haven't seen it, then I haven't seen it.
and with the way I speak as Orgard, it can make for some less than reliable narration. So
As you guys make your way down, I need all of you just give me a general athletics check. Do a group party check. Take the average of them all.
Even if I'm
oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Guidance.
Good thing I have luck.
Guidance.
What are we
Uh,
doing?
My bird.
One of you needs to
You can
guide
always
Bones
use
so
the
they
mat.
can
I know it's
animal
not always
handling
lucky,
check.
but
Athletics, you said?
athletics.
Who
Yes.
wants to
Or
guide?
acrobatics, either
I
or.
will guide.
I was gonna say I got a
Oh,
plus
or
4 to that.
acrobatics?
I have a
Okay.
+4.
Yeah.
I also have a +4.
Ooh.
For what?
I'm good. Yeah.
That's cocked.
Doesn't matter.
Who's leading Bones? They make an animal handling check.
I can do it.
I should not be handling any animal.
You should not.
I have a
Oh,
+4
no.
to animal handling. I can do it if anything. 13.
Nat 1.
I
Oh,
also
God, she
rolled a
gets
nat
moved.
1, but I have +2 my athletics.
But my
I wasn't
my
fighting.
acrobatics was a 25.
25.
I thought we were doing athletics.
But-
So
or
the animal
acrobatics.
handling checks were 13
13
and nat 1. They cancel each other out to like a 7. And then
I rolled a nat 1,
1.
but
What? Everyone's athletics
Oh,
or acrobatics?
I have
19
25.
athletics.
19?
19, yes.
18 for athletics.
18.
9.
acrobatics would be 7.
I'm flying.
25.
Nat 20.
Okay. So amongst the group, you guys manage to sort of like traverse the way down. It can be a little bit tricky in places. I think at certain times Bones is a little bit like unsure about it. He like starts to like do one of these numbers,
Yeah.
and you guys you fail miserably to comfort him. He sort of like shrugs.
Hold
you
on,
off.
hold on.
Almost to the point where you're like, what? It sort of like bumps Aries a little bit as she's like sort of like trying to hang on to the edge here. And then you guys sort of find your footing. You're doing a couple of hops here and there over sort of like the cracked areas. And eventually you make it down to the bottom of this bowl canyon. And then, yeah, you guys, the druid, the ranger, you two give me survival checks.
Can I give myself advantage with my bird?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah,
I'm also
22.
gonna cast guidance on myself.
22.
You said survival?
Yep.
23.
Both of you find absolutely gigantic hoof prints. I would say that you see it in the bird first before him, but you guys split up a little bit, sort of like looking away, and you see these giant hoof prints all over the place that are sort of like pushed in the dirt of the grass a little bit. But you haven't seen the boar.
Seeing how big the boar
Sorry,
prints
I should
are-
explain. The boar prints, these boar prints are probably between 5 and 10 feet.
Oh, like a part? Or
One
wide?
print, one hoof print is about 5 to 10 feet.
Holy fuck. Okay.
How, is the ground moist or dry?
Pretty dry.
So these hoof prints have been there for a while, so they dried into the dirt.
Yeah.
They're not fresh.
Seeing how big those hoof prints are and stuff like that, and since Gax is a druid, could I do an insight check to just see how big this thing is?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't we all
It's
see
going
it
to be
this at this
gargantuan.
point? If they're that
It's
freaking big,
gigantic.
and we're all down there, we would all see it.
Yeah.
I think it's
It was just a
legitimately
matter of
gargantuan.
them me giving it because they're of their class.
5%
that big.
How could you guys not see that? I don't need to be a
I think it was that you
survivalist.
noticed it
16.
first.
That's what I said
my
too. I'm
insight.
like,
Yeah, it's
all
extremely
seen it.
insight.
Because it was dark.
That's also true. Everyone was going to
No, but right now,
Not right now.
right now,
But I'm
it's daylight.
saying why I did it that way is because that's the nature of their classes. I want to respect their class choices.
Just kill.
So they're obviously always on the lookout for things like this,
Yeah.
whereas the rest of you are like looking around, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Insight on that. If that hoof print is between 5 and 10 feet big, then you're dealing with a beast that is on D&D terms, huge scale.
Okay.
It's the size of a dragon almost.
Yeah.
And y'all wanted to do the war first. We could have stayed in town, did a little political mission, but no.
This it's huge. I really don't have any other.
I forgot to mention, I was right about my suspicions regarding this creature being affected by the energies of this place. I had it confirmed.
That seems right on. I don't think my scent glands are gonna work for this.
I think you're about maybe 50 too short to actually really make it care.
I know.
But noticing the hoof prints and stuff like that, can I roll an investigation check or a perception to look at the canyon walls to see if we can spot any like nicks or damages to the wall to give us like a rough estimate of
I wouldn't say
height-wise?
there's a roll for it. There's plenty of them.
Okay.
Based on the size of the creature, you can see that like there'll be long gash marks in the side of the walls from it just like turning its head and like plowing into the sides of it.
Roughly how high would you say those are?
About 15 feet high.
Well, you know what? Good news with that. The boar ain't in the cave over there.
That'd be terrifying if it was.
I think we go in there. It's safe and
Yes.
safer than out here.
But Gax or if you look at the walls, you can see the gash marks the beast left behind. It's about 15 feet to its tusk, so I'd say the thing itself is probably about 20-25 feet tall.
Cedric will look at what you just pointed and go, "Hey Gax, if that's the case, how big would its tusks be?" And follow-up question, how the hell do we get them back to the city?
Alright, if the reach is about 15 feet, so I would say the tusks are probably gonna be around 10-15 feet long, give or take.
And these 4-foot ones are 50 pounds.
It's fine, we have Zarzaros, he'll carry it.
We can also chop them up into smaller parts if they're that large.
And how would they believe
that
that
would
these are
diminish its
iron-hide
value.
tusks?
We could
Wouldn't
go
it
back
be
and
grand to walk into Port Vista with this giant tusk?
You can
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You can embiggen things. Can you minimize things?
I can do that.
That is actually very common. You just hear Argar like grunt in approval.
And then can you dispel it later so it goes back to full size?
Yes.
well, then why don't we just take one of the tusks we have and make it big and say we killed Ironheart?
Now you're being a cheapskate.
Wait, what did I didn't what you say. What did you say?
Because why don't we just do that in the reverse fashion with the smaller tusks?
Cedric will give you a scowl for that.
We can say we killed the thing and we make all this money.
Bosco, I'm not gonna deal with that shit right now.
All right, put everyone's lives on the line for some integrity, whatever.
You're a bit of an opportunist, aren't you? So It says duration, concentration up to 1 minute.
Oh,
Yeah, never mind.
So
1 minute.
we'll be able to potentially like hoist it up the cliff.
If you make them small,
Are
you
there-
can just fly them up real quick.
Are
Just fly the mini ones
I'm
up.
making a 15-foot long tusk 10 feet long. Not
Wow.
making it 15 to 5.
are we near the shore, or how far are we inland, or are we following the shore?
You're definitely inland still. This bowl goes on for another 5 or 6 miles until you hit that, like, what should be the coast, but it's got that bowl crest of, like, sandstone, like, mountains and things in the side, kind of like blocking the way.
Okay.
I'm not
I was gonna say
gonna-
because in theory we could just float the tusks all the way there, but it's not. We're not in the coast.
Does anybody gain that spell? Never mind. I was gonna say, does anybody gain that spell later? Remember what we did with the head? No, we didn't float it. I teleported that thing.
Yeah.
Does any? Never mind.
I can prevent the boar from decaying, and I can do that near indefinitely.
Regardless, I think this is a problem for a later time.
I agree. Maybe the rock people will have a better solution, or maybe we can procure an item from them that can help us with this. Yes.
Maybe the item we get's worth more than the tusks. And
What?
back in Port Fisher.
There's no way it's worth more than the tusks.
Especially
There's
since
still protection that this supplies to the people of Port Fisher, and an ability to grow.
Oh, what, by the meat?
No,
By
Killing-
getting rid of
No, I'm
Ironhide
saying,
and allowing
no,
Port
I'm
Fisher
saying
to
kill
expand.
it and give the rock people the ivory and maybe we
Yeah,
get
didn't he
something
say
in
that they could
return.
make stuff out of it? Make things out of the.
Out of the ivory.
Maybe some.
And he also said that they used to trade with a lot of magical people, so they might have some cool magical items or magical.
I would like to remind everyone that the bounty for Ironhide's tusks is variable. It is,
depending on size.
yes,
this thing is huge.
So maybe we could.
and the city is going to
Chase
have a
them
lot more currency than the Feldspar.
But the city won't have as exclusive items as the Feldspar would.
We don't know what they have to offer.
Yeah, that's
we
fair.
we could offer the Feldspar all of our smaller tusks, and have Bones carry just the larger.
Well, let's
Can we
go
actually
in first.
let's actually
Yes.
talk
Find
to
out what
these?
they have.
Yeah. Let's not make a plan before
We know what
what's
we're in.
going on. Yeah.
Fair point.
Caleb pipes up. Did you all find him?
Yes, we did. Would you like to come?
Oh, I was asleep and I didn't know. Yeah, I want to go. I want to see me brethren.
Cool. Cool. And I'm
Where are we going?
or yeah. So we're down
I actually
at the
don't know
bottom.
because I
Yeah.
wasn't here for the
We're
conversation.
down at the bottom.
Yes.
All right. I'm just gonna start walking my way over to the
Okay.
cave door. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the cave?
I'm already waiting at the door.
Yeah, same.
While they were still talking, me and Nixon were like, we already
You're
know where
like-
we're going, and they're still talking about this. We've already gone and
Fair
waited at the
enough.
entrance,
Caleb
leaning
is-
up against the wall.
Caleb is a boulder. Is he too wide to fit into this opening?
No, he's a 5-foot boulder man. He's
Yeah,
about
height.
Not a
What's his
huge.
width?
He's not a huge
I'm
guy.
talking about width wise.
He's just got like a little like stone stump.
He's stout.
Yeah, he's plump, okay. Okay.
He's
With-
just a little. He's just a little
Thick.
bouldery.
He'll
Yeah.
be able to fit through.
Wide
with,
boy.
with at least 4 C's that
Wide boy.
Almost
as,
a cube.
As you guys make your way over into the tunnel,
wide body kid.
those lamps or like the fires that were on last night, they're still going. And as you venture into the tunnel, you guys would see again that first carving into the ivory. And then as you guys continue about a quarter mile, you walk through this winding path.
It's a lot longer.
You
road
see
into the
more of
ground.
these tablets along the way. After the one with the Serene Valley at the beginning, you see a second one that shows kind of jagged cracks that are just emerging and a bunch of rock falls that are coming down off of it. You continue on further, and the third one has these swirling shadows that twist into like a draconic form with these large tusks coming out of its face, like a classic black dragon. You go a little bit further. This is all within the quarter mile. Okay, you're not going further than a quarter mile. You then see another tablet that shows Galeb Duhr, what looks to be kind of an elder, shaking hands with this large elephant-like beast. And then as you continue, there's a bunch of smaller carvings that end up depicting ivory tusks that are being like given as a gift.
From the Galeb Duhrs to the beast, or from the beast to the Galeb Duhrs?
It's not depicting who or what from. It's just like these rock hands receiving a gift, receiving ivory.
Okay.
Rock.
I'll have the anyone proficient in pictograms.
History? Religion?
Yes, do history.
Or religion? Yeah, yes.
Anyone proficient in history, give me a roll.
How do I? It's not on my phone now.
So hit the.
Oh wait, here we go.
Yeah, you just fight.
It's proficient in history, you said?
Yes.
Ironically, I have religion.
Is that just Cedric?
Is it doing?
Not proficient in history. This is
Nobody
not
else is history?
tenure.
No.
No.
Wow. One good.
22.
22. Wonderful.
Luckily.
From the nature of these tablets as you were walking past, it occurs to you that there's a story to them all. And it's two separate stories that have been presented along this path. The first one tells a story detailing what you presume to be Gorathak's maw before it fractured into its current state.
Okay.
So it went from a serene kind of valley, the jagged rocks and things started emerging. There started to be lots of tremors and rock falls and things. And lastly, the third, swirling shadows that encompassed the whole place and a draconic form shown. Okay? The second one engraves the detailing of the blessings of the Galeb Duhr craftsmanship. Okay? Basically, there's some sort of history that is sacred to these Galeb Duhr.
In the maw.
Not necessarily in the maw, but ivory is a precious resource for one, writing history and preserving it.
When looking at the tablets and stuff like that, you said that it showed the dragon fracturing and stuff like that. Can you say again, or did you say what it fractured into? Like what?
No, because it's just a straight up pictograms. It's like basically like they have a bunch of rocks with like split in it,
Yeah.
and then like two other ones that have like rock falls and things on the side.
Okay.
And that's the mob be like going from like a beautiful place to being like with rock falls into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the
Like big-
swirling of like the dark energy
Yeah.
of the dragon.
The dragon being formed almost at this dark
Yeah,
energy.
it's telling the story of the shape of this, or the Gorathak's maw basically changing over time.
Yeah, from a beautiful place to a place of not beautiful.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So Cedric will see all this, and and that's on one side, and on the other side is
Well, it's kind of like being in a museum where you go from plaque to plaque.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
the idea. Down this winding
And then
tunnel.
another story that's being told is how the Galeb Duhr basically hold the ivory in high regard because it's useful for them in crafting and in basically marking down history.
Yes.
Then, well, Cedric will see that and kind of like look through one by one. I think I just said it was like a museum. He's like, it's like the museums back home. And he'll kind of like run back down to the first one and kind of follow along and be like, biomatter. And he'll look at Caleb and go, you're all the more intelligent than I thought.
I must say, I mean, this is what I do, but I've heard great things about Feldspar.
So after doing all that, he'll explain to the party the story following the tablets, and we explain one by one how each of them play into the story.
Do they worship this?
You asking me?
Yes.
I don't know. I know of the Feldspar Conglomerate.
I think it's more of a you don't hurt us, please type of relationship. Yeah, it's not like it's not like they worship him. It's more like a Mr. Dragon, please don't kill us type of deal, which is totally understandable.
Well, according to the pictures, the Galeb Duhr were here first. So it really must be now that you're here, we'll do whatever you want, don't kill us. Not they encroached the dragon's territory. And it seemed to be a paradise before.
I was warned that we are in extremely dangerous territory.
I'm sure the Feldspar are as nice as our friend Caleb here.
Why would you assume that?
I mean, we haven't even met these people yet. They could just kill us if they really wanted to.
Caleb is nice enough, but he is his own rock.
The pictures, was it making like they were making an offering? The rock Feldspar?
It's not
or were
clear.
they
It's not clear.
No.
who
They
it
were
is.
They were
like rock hands kind of receiving it.
Okay. But it looks like
Of
they're
ivory.
getting it, not
Of
offering it up.
Yes.
Okay. They might just offer.
Well, Caleb, will you lead the way?
I suppose.
Does he know what he's doing?
I just continue down the tunnel.
No.
Why don't we have the people that have been here?
People that have been here. Who's
We've been here. We haven't been this
They
far.
didn't go down as far. Yeah.
I mean-
we're in undiscovered territory.
Happy to lead.
I
if
mean, yeah.
anyone wants
I-
to.
Why doesn't
Why?
the man with the shield the size of him go ahead and keep the shield up?
I
I can
think
do that, but I think it would be helpful to us, since we don't know if they're gonna be hostile, to see one of their own kind at
Yeah.
the lead, and then I can follow behind with the shield if you want me to do that.
I think it would look better if we were to protect one of their own kind and not have them be the lead.
No,
Kind of like
I think,
pushing him as a.
no, I think
As this happens and everyone's arguing, Nixel's walking.
Not flying. What?
I mean, it's a little too cramped.
Right,
I
yes.
imagine.
He's going.
we
and-
take
and-
Caleb's hand. We take Caleb's hand. We walk him down. But you hold his hand. I hold his
One
hand. We
hand.
walk him down.
Mommy, daddy.
I just kind of
thousands of years old.
I just kind of groan and follow their lead. Yeah.
I haven't held hands like this in a minute.
Awkward glances are exchanged.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to do one of these moves because you can't go sideways.
Oh,
It's too
So
narrow
I'll
of a
be-
tunnel,
I'll-
so you're like this.
I'll be in the front.
you'll lead in the trail.
I stay back with Bosco.
I hope we do fight these people so I can.
All right,
come
so
up with
you
a
guys
bullet or
continue.
rock
You get to
on.
the end of the tunnel, and the tunnel opens up, and within it, it's a large kind of like semicircle. So you got just the one side, and then the circle, and on the sides here, you've got similar cutout alcoves with like torches burning, and there's a couple of boulders here and there. There's a mixture of them though. You see one boulder that's kind of like bumpy. It's got like a mix of like pebbles and sandstone. More jagged than some of the rest. You see one that's sitting kind of like in the middle. A little bit older. It looks kind of like rough, and it's got like a flakiness to it. I would say the druid and the ranger understand this to be kind of like a flint material. And then there's also another one in the room that looks kind of like it's more mineral-like. It's got this bluish crystal hue to it. And when you enter into this room, you can get the smell of like lemon. Lemon. Yeah.
In a cave?
Yes.
Nixel will turn to Caleb and
Kind of like a citrusy smell, yeah.
ask,
If you had to choose, Caleb, who would you say is the leader here?
I got no idea. I don't know these people. But I do know how to wake them up. And he goes,
Warning.
When he does that, are they positioned in any sort of way? Are they like what Cedric is looking for is a power structure here, where like the head of the household will sit in the middle, or this is a council or something.
So you have the reddish kind of flint guy in the middle,
that's what Nixel was.
and then near the entrance you had kind of like the rough-looking pebble mixture with the sandstone, and then in the back you had what looked to be a more like mineral-ish
So
style.
mineral in the back, gemstone at the head, and then right near the entrance, the sandstone.
Not gemstone, a flint.
Oh, sorry,
Flint.
flint.
Yeah.
More flaky, shale-like.
At the center, and then sandstone here.
Yeah.
When
Not all of them get up. Actually, the only one near the front starts to construct itself. And he stands only like 4 feet tall or so. He's a little smaller guy.
hey. There's a lot of you.
What?
And you got a friend. My name's Ig. Ig. Welcome to the Feldspar Conglomerate.
Yeah,
What can I do for you today?
we have some ivory that we would love to trade if you are still looking to have some.
The minute he hears ivory, the guy in the middle.
We were expecting
You can
something different.
hear kind of like the as it kind of like slowly constructs itself. You can tell that this dude looks a little bit older, based on the style of his rock structure. He's a bit flaky. He's got a little bit of rock dandruff. And he goes,
Elder Clay. They have brought ivory.
as the elder sort of like finally constructs himself. He stands at hunched over. He's about 5 feet tall.
So he's
He's bigger than the others.
And you can see the rock structure gives him like a small like goatee. As he
These are moss
gets
on it.
up, he looks around, he looks at you, and he sort of reaches down, picks up this like cane.
Welcome to the Feldstone Conglomerate. Feldspar. Feldspar Conglomerate. Almost lost the benches there. You have brought ivory, have you?
Yes, we have.
Well, let's see it.
Guess we bring in bubble.
Yeah, we're bringing
You
our
guys
donkey.
bring the donkey up to him. He looks it over.
Excellent offering. Though I won't take it all. What is it I can do for you today?
Caleb tells us that you do wonderful things with this ivory. And
Yes,
that
we are
will
master craftsmen with ivory.
we're looking for something that might aid us as we journey through the mall.
You're journeying through them all. Certainly, you want echo stones.
Are they the ones that help you communicate with individuals across some distance?
No, those are sending stones.
Oh. I mean, hey, I'm at you, and I don't know shit about
The
that.
echo stones are particularly useful within the cave, within the canyons. You can use them to hear tremors. No sneaking enemies.
Oh, so they're like
Also, they can tell you when a rockfall happens.
Are these rockfalls common?
Most common.
That would be quite.
I've seen many demise from rockfall.
Would you happen to know anything about the boar that plagues these lands?
I stayed far away from him, if I were you.
How come?
He motions you to come to him.
Cedric will comply.
If you care about yourself, or any of your companions, you leave him alone, unless you want to be scorched like a bog.
We're looking to free these lands of its blight.
Many have come through here trying to do the same. And they all end up squashed like bogs. What makes you any different? You can see the little stone eyebrows.
Suppose nothing.
at that point.
We're the newest attempt. The newest ones to attempt this.
At this point, Nixel starts spinning his pistol. Kind of in a cocked manner. This is what makes me different, kind of.
He doesn't cock that, instead he ignores it, and he looks over at Caleb, who is still holding the fire balloon. And he...
What have you got there? I've got me some bloom. Is there something you want with it?
Uh-oh.
That's the last of it.
Oh.
It was destroyed, unfortunately. Would you mind if we cultivate it? I assume he's with you.
He is. The deal that we made in order to get the fire bloom was to trade the stones from Ironhide for them. Because the city, or the town, is also in desperate need of it.
And what are your intentions with this fire bloom?
My intentions were to do similarly what you just said, was to use some to heal the people that are sick within the town, and then cultivate the rest. But depending on if you are able to get seeds or anything like that from this plant, then I will be able to aid in quickly cultivating it.
See you speak about fire bloom in such knowledge, and the idea of wanting to cultivate it. He's definitely intrigued, and he starts to take a couple of steps towards you.
I'll match him. So like however many steps he takes with I'll
Sure, he takes 3 steps.
How do you know so much about this plant?
I am a druid. I have learned from my master. I've traveled these lands before. I've studied and cultivated many different plants in my life.
You remind me of someone I knew many years ago.
I take it he looked similar to me, I guess. A lizard folk, or at least what seemed to be a lizard folk.
No, not a lizard.
Did he ever tell you his name?
Was he a dragonborn?
He never gave me his name.
What did he look like?
He came to me and he had green skin and scales and with a light blue texture that shimmered across.
Did he have something like this?
I reveal the rune on my arm.
Oh my gosh. At seeing that, boom, boom. You see the third guy get up with this like more mineral form. Lemon, get over here. You must check this man's arm out immediately.
Lemon? I guess
Now
he's
why
the
it's
citrusy one.
like
Yeah.
As Lemon animates and gets up and walks over,
How big is lemon?
Lemon's about 4 foot.
I'm gonna kind of holster the
He's a little
flail.
more lean because he's a mineral. He's got more gems on him. But as he walks up close to you, you guys can literally smell the citrus coming, like emanating from him. As he looks at you very intently, and he reaches his arm slowly out towards yours. And as you start to like sort of give him, he sort of wrenches it a little bit and pulls it up. Puts his hand into like a crevice in one of his like in his back. Pulls out a magnifying glass with like an ivory handle on it.
They worship it. They
I love
only
these guys.
build in it.
These guys are
They
amazing.
only.
A face of disgust pulls over. Just like before. A judge. He is a judge.
Yes.
What has a judge done here? The last judge came in a mask. Speak!
I'm here to help my friends deal with Iron.
I do not trust you.
I'm used to it.
He takes a couple of steps back. I think we all need to take a second. What is it you want us to do? What was your purpose for coming here? Was it for materials or was it for knowledge? Because you won't be getting knowledge if that's what you seek. Not with him here.
And why is that?
He seemed to have something against judges.
It was the masked judge that burned the fire bloom, destroying all of it.
I cannot speak for other judges.
It was more than just him. There were 10, 20, 30 of them.
I think you might be confused. Within the world, there can only be one true judge.
This was but months ago.
Yes, my friend had. How long have you been a judge? A few days.
Since
Signed the book.
I guess
Yeah,
only
since you
yesterday.
signed the book, yeah.
So only yesterday.
But that only means that whoever signs the book can become the judge. We only saw 5 names in
You're
that
only
book.
the sixth
But-
one.
The flail.
Was with you the entire time.
We don't know what happened to the previous judge.
As he says that, Nixel pipes up and says, "Yes, but the last judge was a dragonborn also, wasn't
We don't know that.
He was masked.
he? Did
But
that
he has scaly flesh, yes.
Wait.
What did this mask look like?
He goes. His arms go into the ground, and he waits a couple of seconds. As you see his eyes kind of like moving back and forth, and as he's like scanning history in a way. And then he pulls his arms back out, and he says, "Blue."
Does that mask look familiar? Or sound familiar?
The mask itself had a mustache. It was silvery and red.
And you said he had green and blue scales?
That was the guy who reminded me of you, but it was not the same guy, no.
Wait, so there was a bunch of them?
But he was also a judge. A
He,
nice judge.
he was.
He helped me to cultivate the fire, but he asked me to do it.
He was my father.
That doesn't make any sense.
How?
You are a lizard.
I know.
He was no lizard folk.
I know. That's why I've been trying to find him. Well,
No,
I'm
that's
assuming he's dead. Yes.
You,
So now you go.
you say you don't trust judges, yet you just said that he was a nice judge.
I don't trust the judge that came here before in the mask.
Regardless,
Good
this
sir,
is
if you
not-
So since then, I don't like judges.
My good sir, he subscribes to no such barbarities.
You back this man.
Yes, as a follower of Ilmater, god of.
The god of the poor. Of the suffering.
Yes,
I've been around some time.
he has caused no such suffering.
He also wears no mask.
If it's any
He's also not a dragonborn.
if it's any consolation, I think there's been a misunderstanding about the masked figures. They were either masquerading or deceived you in some way.
They destroyed all of it.
No, what?
And now we come to you wanting to cultivate it again.
Until this point, until... What's your name, dear boy? Caleb. Until Caleb brought this fire room, I thought the rest had been destroyed. All of it.
Did you not see masked people when you were collecting the fire bloom?
Well, I did. Beat me brother. Well, it was when the thing happened to my brother. Yes.
Based on Lemon's description, does that sound familiar to the masked people you saw?
Yes.
The ones with the crescent earrings?
They were with them.
They had the crescent earrings?
The masked ones didn't.
They were accompanied by ones with crescent earrings.
If my memory is correct. Yes.
It seems that government in power. No, that's not the right one. It seems that there are dark forces afoot. Sorry. I don't believe, first of all, that all judges are bad. I think that is something that you have to decide yourself first and then choose. Yeah.
With advantage, because everyone's basically helping to that.
Andy's already said that there is a nice judge.
Yeah. 19.
He definitely relaxes a little bit. He's not so freaking up in your face. Well, there are two solutions to this problem. Obviously, you already have some sort of connection with Caleb here. He has offered this fire bloom to you all to take. I offer a different solution. We perform a ritual. You can see I'm quite old, and I've been looking for an opportunity to move on. This ritual would sap my life force, and you, looking at you, would have to cultivate it over 3 days.
I see.
There is a second option. One highly unlikely. But I may offer it in case you happen to be in possession of it. There used to be a liquid that the nice judge talked about. The nectar of the gods. I have not seen it in a long time, but is what we used first to create such a product. This judge did not allow me the knowledge of why he was producing the fire bloom, cultivating it. But he guarded it with his life. His secrecy was impeccable. It was only until we've seen this second judge that this stuff was destroyed and Ironhide emerged.
Is it maybe the liquid that Nixel has from the
Yeah.
orb?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
I need anyone proficient with religion to make a check.
Ooh, finally. I'm not proficient.
The DC.
Oh my
I'm not proficient in
The
religion.
DC for this check is 20.
God.
That's crazy.
Why?
The one time you're
Why?
Next will give you the help action anyway. Not familiar with giving you help action. Do it again.
We.
Yeah. I was just saying.
My calling was not called.
Can I hit him with guidance too, or is that too late?
No, we're good. I have a 23.
Nice.
Remember back to a time when you were learning about the substance with Master Gear Spark. And he never said it, but it was written down in his notebook. And you took a quick peek at it before you moved on from the lesson. And the liquid that you carry is nectar of the gods. It's a silvery substance.
This substance that you speak of, are there any other uses for it other than just...
So many uses.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
It is of godlike nature, magic.
Would I have to still cultivate for 3 days if we use it, or no?
You would,
Okay.
but my life would be spared.
I think that would be great.
How much nectar of the gods is required? to make such a cultivation?
A vial.
Is that all that we have on us?
Sick.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the entirety of it.
I think we need a quick
Cedric,
prep
Cedric
meeting.
knows where the sword is, and the sword is where that thing collapsed. When in looking for the sword, we could just get.
No, all of that
You don't
liquid
understand.
evaporated.
Oh, it
didn't
evaporated?
Yeah, it evaporated
It
as soon as
also-
the trap was tripped.
Oh,
It
I don't
also
know.
took Nixel a perfect roll to get it
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah.
It's yours, man. You're the one that worked your ass off to get it, so I'm
True.
not gonna offer shit up that's not mine.
You have a choice. You know what it can be used for. It can be used for extracting lavasite, or it can be used for cultivating the fire bloom.
Why must your life be given up for this fire? Can it not be cultivated naturally over the course of a longer time period?
There's a reason that judge asked us to do it. We can bestow life with our mineral deposits.
It's always a it's always a source
We
of
shit rocks.
nutrition. Yeah, it's a source of nutrition for the plants.
What?
Gax is kind of like laughing to himself, thinking like, this is actually like the greatest place for it to cultivate. It's like,
What?
Did he say that?
100% canon.
What?
My word.
What happens to the Feldspar Conglomerate should you move on? Would a new elder be named?
He looks towards Caleb.
Oh,
Bro.
what?
Caleb will
Bruh.
get a hell of a promotion.
From knowing nothing to.
I'm being a leader.
From being mailman to president.
Will you become my pet rock?
Tell me truly. I know you've been around some time. Is giving your life something you wish to do?
Not in the slightest. I have plenty more years ahead of me.
Do you want to die?
Hey, dude, I can only imagine like having that type of life where you've lived thousands upon thousands of years and just looking and being like, I'm done. Like, just I'm done with this.
I have been here for a millennia. And I could be here a millennia more.
I think we need to remember that Fire Bloom is going to aid a lot more people than wanting to use this nectar to extract some rock.
And we already know that those that want it
Don't have the best intentions.
We don't know their intentions, but we know that it's dubious.
Nixel wants that lavasite.
We can always attempt to get it our own way without the nectar.
Do you know anything about this labradorite?
Intensely powerful mineral.
Do you have a means of extracting it?
I could provide you with one of our magic ivory pickaxes.
And that will be sufficient in extracting it?
Should be.
It will probably be more difficult than the nectar. But I think this is a better path to take, knowing what we know.
And it spares one life at least.
Not just that, but the fire bloom could have very far-reaching benefits.
I agree.
Caleb, how do you feel about all this?
I don't know.
I just want me brother avenged.
We also don't know how much.
Would you be
One
willing
vial
to
would
take on the
extract.
responsibility of being the elder of the Feldspar Conglomerate?
It would be an honor. But only if that's what they want. I am an outsider here.
We also don't know how much that one vial will extract. But we do know one vial will take care of this. I mean, he's gonna give us a tool to help. I mean, yeah, I don't know how much work it's gonna take, but I feel like you get both things this way.
Was it one vial? Like you said, one vial for a questionable amount of leversite, or one vial that will cultivate fire bloom, give us a free pickaxe, potentially help out a shit ton of people, and on top of that, may even have farther reaching implications
And
that we
potentially, if my assumptions are correct, undo some prior errors.
So
Prior error.
yeah,
I will discuss it when we are.
fire bloom increases like body temperature, heat, and stuff like that. And normally with parasites, you either have to go with extreme cold or extreme heat. Yeah.
Nixel hears all your arguments.
Also, I really quickly before that, Cedric clocks that Argar doesn't want to talk about it, and given the patience you've given him in the past, even though he is pretty snappy today, he respects your not wanting to talk.
I think you're snappy. I think you snapped at like 2 people and that was it.
Yeah.
Again, this is Cedric we're talking about. This is Cedric we're talking
The
about.
hands on your shoulder. I feel like that. Like
The man holds himself to higher standards.
Exactly.
Nixel would hear all your arguments. However, the one that would really change his mind is Ares. So
After
with
that successful, I mean,
he pulls the vial.
Is that what I think it is? You have nectar of the gods. How did you ever come by that?
The means with which I got it is not important. How you use it, more so.
He reaches his flinty hand out.
once.
Takes it. Caleb, would you bring me the fire bloom? Caleb walks over, hands him the fire bloom. You. What is your name?
My name is Gax Urats.
Stand beside me. This will be more painful than you think. Just fair warning.
I'm ready. I'll go stand beside him.
when he says it's gonna be painful, Cedric kind of keeps a hand out just in case he has to get some healing magic out.
The other two, Galeb Duhr, Ig, and Lemon, start doing a
Yes. Gax has waited his entire life.
as
for
it's
this
just
one
sort
moment.
of echoing in the room. You see the fire bloom start to like scorch in the Flint's hand as he goes, and it lights a flame on the bloom itself. He takes the nectar of the gods and pours it all over the fire bloom, and with one swift motion goes, slams it into your chest. As you get reeled backwards, the acidic burning feeling just creates this giant hole in your chest. As it starts to reform back around, you have now this fire bloom that's just sort of like
In me?
as you can feel it pulsating with every heartbeat
Okay.
within you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's fire blue
Okay.
chest
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, so
Can I use a starry form before the saving throw or no?
No,
No.
because you
Okay.
said it after.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't know I was gonna need
Yeah.
the con save.
I mean, you're not always.
Yeah. 19.
19? Cool. You choke down the feeling, and again, your scaly skin is tough, and it sort of wraps itself back around and encompasses the wound almost. So you don't take any damage, at least this time.
Oh no.
You feel, and as it starts to form back around, the veins within you start to glow, kind of like molten roots. The last thing is, I need you to make a wisdom save.
20.
20. Also saves. Very nice. So as he smashes this into you, he takes a look at the work. Very resilient. Seems you were the perfect person.
I do like to sometimes test things out on myself if I need to. So, trial and error.
Tell me, Gax. Have you any idea what these symbols mean? And as he points around the room, you can see a bunch of different constellations at this point. Kind of like shoved in, penciled in to the sides of the rock that's in this cave. And give me an investigation check with advantage.
A 9.
9?
Yeah. The other one was in that one, so. Yeah.
The constellations don't mean anything to you. But picking up on a couple of locations, you realize they're pointing in a certain direction, straight to where, Lemon was sitting. Or like in his inanimate form, his boulder form. As you ignore the Elder's question and sort of walk over towards that space, you see where he was sitting, there is another sigil in the ground. Another kind of like it's been chalked in or carved into the floor. It has a nightingale on it. And underneath it has a dot, and like almost it looks like a smiley face, but it's druidic.
Okay.
So you immediately can read this, right?
Yeah.
And the slash is speak your name.
Standing on the spot, looking at the constellations on the walls and stuff like that, and especially for Gax in this moment, thinking about his father and like the mindset of like who is he, and if I don't know who he is, what am I, type of deal. Gax Urots.
As a kind of stone column unlocks itself and pulls out of the ground. As it gets about halfway, the column changes to like what looks to be lead around and creating this column. Gets to the top. As the thing pops open, you look inside, and in it there's a kind of like a rock tablet about this big. And it's written all in Druidic. And the note reads, Gax, I stumbled to find the words to write. At this point, I know you've uncovered part of the truth to my identity, but there was a reason for the secrecy. Only through a judge can this truth be unveiled. Breakthroughs were never the cure. They were wards. I've cultivated Firebloom in hopes that your destiny would lead you to it. You've always had a gift for herbalism. I'm sorry I cannot give you more answers, but know that I cared so much for you and your kin. I spent ages watching your kind grow and flourish amongst all the discourse your species was accused of. They stayed true to the land and to the way of the dragons. You may never understand why I did what I did, but know it was the only option I had left to secure your species' survival. And the next section looks as if the note that was written was returned to. It's got a different set of like larger, more rough grooves and notches, as if like a different implement was used. And it says, "Let the stars remind you, I have always walked beside you, and I always will." And as you pull the rest of the container out of it, what you find is this kind of like purplish blue bound up piece of clothing. As you undo the twine, stardust and speckled ethereal starlight just emanates from it. As before you is a long cloak of constellations all over it. As the stardust sort of like goes out from it, it forms into a person in front of you. And it's your father. And then immediately shrinks down into a mote of light and starts flying out towards it. Do you chase or do you leave it?
Out towards what?
The exit.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I would go chase it. Anyway.
As you chase it, you can see it's illuminating kind of. It's dim light, obviously, because of the curse that's going on here, but it's illuminating the path, and as you're following it, you get out the quarter-mile tunnel, and the star goes up towards where the sky is, and then bursts, rains down, and from the feet up, you see talon, legs, chest, even more torso as it elongates. Goes up into the neck. You can see a horned dragon with one kind of horn like this, another one like this. And then it speaks. It says, "I've wanted to tell you, show you my true form for some time, but never could. Are you alright?
I can understand.
You must understand, I couldn't tell anybody. I fell in love with the lizard folk. You guys' culture was astounding.
Thank you for protecting us. My question is, are you actually my father?
Did you sire me?
Yeah.
I went by many names. Gosk Urat was my last.
What was the one before it?
Villiandrel.
Okay.
That was my Fey name.
Thank you for showing me.
I must warn you before I leave. There is one within your group that is willing to betray you at all costs.
He is willing to betray us.
They are associated with a gang
Have
that
you-
is intent on war.
Oh, I figured most of that out. But have you ever heard of the name Fathok before?
Vathak was a ancient obsidian dragon who died in the First War. But not by his enemies, by his friends. So he thought.
As in that they weren't his actual friends?
They were a cohort. They used each other's powers to gain more power.
I see. Looking at my own father in his dragon form, could I do a nature check to see what type of dragon he is?
Sure.
So asking is a dragon and not just a fae.
Yeah. Let's ask some real questions here. Huh. I got a 12. Or no, guidance. 15.
15. He's what they would call a moonstone dragon.
A runestone dragon?
Moonstone
Moonstone.
dragon.
Okay.
Which is what they're called that for the
Yeah.
unicorns that make kind of a moon shape.
Yeah.
And they do not hail from the material plane. They're definitely from the Fae.
Shit. Some big interesting too. Wow.
This place used to be mine. Until Gorthak returned. And he pushed me out.
It must have been tough to leave your lair. I can't even imagine what that means for a dragon. But I'm happy you were able to settle down at least with the lizard folk.
I appreciate that. And he weeps one tear and then merges into just one star. And it floats over to your staff. And where you had pinpricked that constellation, it creates the constellation.
Oh, that's so sad. Okay. That's so cool. Okay.
Thank you everyone for joining.
I'm figuring out some things for once.
Yeah.